Steve
I was
plays.
lost in the Jamie Hader sauce.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Thank God I am not on air.
Oh well, we are streaming now. So 3, 2,
Oh, okay.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 69 of Ring Post Radio. That's a shoot number, and I'm your shoot host, Ryan Knightstein. With me, as always, is Mr. Lost in the Sauce himself, Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how are you doing today?
Yeah, it would have been better if I knew we were live, but it's fine. It's fine.
That's fine. If we cut out of the Patreon, not Patreon, the our feed.
That's
so
good.
it's
That's
fine.
good. That's good. I know you're gonna keep it for a blooper or something. You jerk.
It's only for those who want to join the live stream early.
Oh, sure. That's good.
That's a live. That's exclusive. that's a RPR exclusive.
I mean, probably no one heard it anyways, unless you were waiting to click on the damn thing.
That's true.
Ryan forgot that we record at 9.
I
so
did.
I have to bring that up.
We'll blame the time.
We'll blame the time that he didn't want to blame earlier. I was gonna do a whole thing of acting like, oh, welcome to the 5-star. Oh, wait a minute, this is Ring Post Radio. Like JR, said this is Dynamite, and then he's like, oh, never mind, it's Rampage. Shit,
JK, JR.
It's Friday, but I'm not gonna do the bit because I got lost in the sauce. So that's fine. But I'm here. We're talking a lot of wrestling today. It's a packed house.
Yeah.
Listen, Jamie Hader's theme song phenomenal. It's not my fault.
Yeah. What is this? What's a packed house? Wrestle Kingdom, I guess. What is this? Wrestle Kingdom, packed house? I feel like
what is this? An AEW pay-per-view?
Well, no, the ticket sales have been doing too hot. Who's been doing pack houses? What is this? Saudi Arabia? What's another pack house?
Are they not selling well for Full Gear?
I don't know. Let me see if I can look
in the mud.
I know that they raised ticket prices for AEW, and since then,
God, this company's dead.
The company's dead. That's it. That's it for the company. Where
TN AEW.
They got Jeff Jarrett coming in. We got Sanjay Dutt at Power.
I can't believe this company's dying.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? After all these years, they're finally dying.
After all these years, the tickets look like they sold fine.
I'll take your word for it. I have not found
$55 each for bleachers. Yikes!
Yeah, they've raised prices. I was talking to Ashley, one of the hosts of How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling last night, and she said that she's not getting a seat for the LA Forum show. Seats that she got last time for $100 something are now $700. And so
that's also the Ticketmaster thing with the new platinum thing that they do, where they just automatically raise prices.
Yeah,
so,
it's insane. It's ridiculous.
I got tickets for Dynamite, and they're $99 for Jesus. Floor seats.
Yeah, the ticket prices are insane, but
it's just an episode of Dynamite, so
I mean, yeah, but even then, that's the LA Forum. That's just an episode of Dynamite.
But that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Coming in hot with, and yeah, she's the bleacher seats, nosebleed seats were $75 or something.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's just too much. It'll go down. It always goes down.
Yeah, if Biden passes that I don't know what bill it would be, but anyway, politics. Anyways, we got a big old.
We already
show.
went too deep into politics. You said his name.
We got a big old.
Oh, sorry.
We got a big old show for us today. We're not talking ticket sales. We got a bunch of news items to get to, and we got 3 reviews to talk about, time permitting. But we'll
get through them.
Yeah, we'll squeeze them out.
They're actually real shows.
They're actually 3 real shows.
That's the problem. They're all real shows. They're not NWA Hard Times where I could skip it.
I was about to say I could have squeezed in a preview, but I've decided against. I could have squeezed in a surprise preview too.
You should have probably had me preview that. It would have been great content.
You want to preview it right now? Get it out of the
way?
No. Get it out of your system. I can look it up.
I don't want to preview that godforsaken company.
I can look it up right now. You want me to look up the NWA Hard Times 4?
You don't even know the number. You want to talk about Hard Time?
It's Hard Times in New Orleans. They don't have the number on it anymore.
You want to hear Hard Times?
I would like
company.
NWA Hard Times. All right, let's preview. Like you said, this is what Scotty wants to do. So let's preview NWA Hard Times in New Orleans. Ready?
I hate this show.
EC3 versus Tom Latner. Get into it. Get into it.
Terrible. That's like step 1 of bad.
What about this?
It probably gets worse.
Natalia Markova versus Max the Impaler in a Voodoo Queen casket match. Get into it. Get into it.
What is happening? What are we doing here? Huh?
Remember how the match was Camille versus Taya Valkyrie? Well, now it's Camille versus Kylan King versus Chelsea Green, and what is probably her last NWA match.
Shout out Kylan King.
Yeah, I can see Kylan King winning that and pinning Chelsea Green. That's what I would do if I was the booker. If Chelsea Green's on the way out, you switch the title, pin Chelsea
Billy
Green.
Corgan.
Yeah, but I'm not Billy Corgan, so that's a good thing, I guess, too.
Thank God. I wouldn't be doing this podcast with you. That's for goddamn sure.
We have enough money to do whatever the hell we want.
That's also true.
So, I mean, that's definitely part
literally
of it.
what he's doing with NWO. He said, look at all my money. Let me pay Tyrus.
Finally, after all this Smashing Pumpkins money, after all these 90s fans, I can finally
afford Tyrus.
Yes.
His $25 contract.
Yes, give me Jake Dumas. This is what I've been waiting for.
I need this company to die. We've already talked about NWA too much. We've already driven away everyone that's listening to this show. Well, we need to rope them back in.
All right, let's rope them back in. AEW news. There you go. Big news week for them. We'll start off, which is one that you and I both always love to do. The world title eliminator bracket was unveiled. Of course, this is the yearly world title eliminator tournament that they do every single time. The finals are
the tournament that people complained about that they do every year.
Too many tournaments. This is the I don't know what that voice was. This is, of course, the tournament where the finals will be taking place. What's that?
I blame the Owen Hart tournament not having a result other than a pink belt.
Well, if they did Owen Hart and this one, I get it. They also had to do the Tournament of Champions tournament. Remember that one?
That wasn't their fault.
That one's not their fault. I don't blame them for that one.
Well, it kind of is.
In a way.
You did not crown him.
But that's true. But yeah, anyways, World Title Eliminator Tournament. This is the tournament where the finals are happening at Full Gear, where the match will be happening at Winter is Coming for Dynamite. We have the bracket in front of us. On the left side. Yes. On the left side, we have a bunch of these are happening on Rampage. I think 3 of these matches are happening on Rampage. One of them...
They're just making Rampage the show.
Loading it up. I don't blame them.
As they should.
Wednesday night for Dynamite is going to be Eddie Kingston versus Ethan Page on one side.
Oh, people are going to be so angry.
We also have on the same side Roosh versus Bandito.
That's a
yeah.
That is a yeah. Yeah. Almost fell out of my chair there, folks.
And on the right side, also on Rampage, we have Ricky Starks taking on Lance Archer, returning to television yet again. Lance Archer
to lose,
He's returning
to television again to lose.
Probably true. And then we have, of course, Brian Cage versus Dante Martin, which will be a nice little Lucha Underground match. That's what that's going to be.
Sure.
But yeah, so we got a bunch of tournament stuff here. Let's talk about the right side of the bracket first, the Rampage.
Since you were asking for a complaint, I have a critique. I would have started this like 1 week earlier, but that's it.
Why? Just
I don't know. I feel I kind of forgot about it until like they showed the bracket to me, and I was like, "All right, well, right, we have 2 weeks."
They've been hyping the tournament.
They want to build up the final.
They've been hyping the tournament for the past like 2 weeks, but now they've been officially
That's the funny
starting the
part.
tournament.
They're like, look at the bracket. We might tell you, we might not. And then they just didn't tell us anything on Dynamite. I was like, what?
Yeah. They didn't even announce
Like-
anyone new for the bracket.
No, they said they were going to, and they just didn't. But that's okay.
And then they saved it all. Hey, saved it all for Rampage. Put it on Rampage, I
Yeah.
guess.
Hey, they're putting a bunch of people on TV through this that haven't been on TV in a long time. That's the win here.
Yeah, so the right side of the bracket, let's talk about who we think is winning this. So on one side, we have Lance Archer versus Ricky Starks. I'm going to assume based off last week, I have a guess who you would like to pick that match, the winner of that match.
The Revolution is televised.
The Revolution is fucking televised.
You goddamn right it is. Yeah, I want Ricky Starks to win.
I could, you can maybe see the argument of, hey, it's a big bad booty daddy Lance Archer. So I don't know.
Excuse me?
I don't know. He's a big bad monster, so I don't know. Maybe he could win it, but ultimately, I think it's
no. That's not how Tony Khan books monsters. They lose.
You're right. They're right.
They always lose.
Speaking of monsters, we also have Brian Cage versus Dante Martin. That's true. Brian Cage versus Dante Martin, and that end as well.
Flips.
You think Dante Martin's gonna win?
No, I just think it's gonna be flips. Brian Cage, and then you got a little Team Taz semifinal.
Yeah.
Why did we kill Team Taz?
Oh no.
I miss Team Taz so much.
Yeah, I do too.
But we get Taz on commentary now every week, so I guess that's the win here.
Yeah, that's the trade-off. But yeah, so I also agree. I think Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks is a nice little bring back to Team Taz, continue that feud. And then ultimately, you think Ricky Starks at the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
That's
the Revolution is televised.
Revolution is pay-per-viewized in a sense.
The Revolution is you have to pay for.
The Revolution is Bleacher Reported.
Yeah.
And then the other side, Bandito versus Roosh. Very nice luchador action here. I'm excited. I don't necessarily
I think Bandito wins due to who I think wins the other match.
I sort of agree. I'm going also with Bandito, and it sounds like for Eddie Kingston,
I want Bandito to win. To be fair,
Yes.
Like that is my preference. But yeah, I don't.
So then we also
he should just go to the finals.
He
won't,
should.
but he should.
He should. But then on the other side, of course, we have Eddie Kingston versus Ethan Page.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Do you think you could have booked a worse person to go against Ethan Page here?
What do you mean?
In terms of how angry people are going to be the moment Ethan Page wins?
Well, I guess
maybe that's the goal.
That's the goal because he's going to win via the firm, right? The firm's going to come in and beat up Eddie Kingston.
Right. But like
Ethan
Page.
But no. I'm not going to hate on Ethan Page here. And I'm going to tell you, let me tell you why. Because
you're a big North fan.
No, the North were a good tag. They were a good tag team.
I feel like they're very good.
Because it's very apparent to me that Ethan Page is a big evil fan, big House of Torture fan. Because if I've never seen bigger House of Torture booking style than the firm, so if Ethan Page wins this, jump starts to the finals of the pay-per-view, it's probably going to be because of the firm. I'm going to put my money down, and I'm going to be into it because because as we all know, this is a pro House of Torture podcast, and this is going to be House of Torture light, House of Torture style booking for the firm. So, hey, I'm sorry, Eddie Kingston, you're in the way of the firm. That's what it's going to be like. If Ethan Page comes out in purple, I'm going to lose my mind, as you can tell all around us. So, that's the style, man. That's what the kids are into,
I can't even lie. I can't even do the House of Torture lie. I hate the firm. I hate every bit of the firm. I want them to dissolve. Every time they're on TV, I'm like, oh my god, this sucks.
I'm into them. I think the firm is. I like the firm. I think they've been
working
for me.
The firm is just so mid.
Yeah,
they're good. That's the problem. You don't have you had MJF as the leader, and then they moved on.
Yeah,
and now it's like, am I supposed to believe Ethan Page is the leader? Ethan Page?
Well,
the guy who was with Dan Lambert for months.
They've seemingly moved on, assuming MJF isn't doing a swerve back to heel.
That would be
somehow.
bad. That would be really bad if they did that.
But yeah, she is the presumed now leader of the firm, Ethan Page.
I think the firm's just so like, it's just the flavor of the month for a heel group. That's what it is. Like, they're not going to matter after Full Gear.
Oh, 100% they're going to matter after Full Gear. What do you mean? 100%.
No, like they're not going. They're going to fall apart eventually. Like, this group isn't going to last.
Yeah, but they're not gonna fall apart in 3 weeks.
No,
not even 3 weeks, like 2 weeks.
No, I wish they did. That would make me so happy, make the show better. But no, it's not working for me. I don't like this. I don't enjoy this group when they're on my television. Though I am interested to see how Ethan Page goes. I will say, everyone's getting mad about Ethan Page. I'm not a big Ethan Page fan or anything, but we're going with new guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important part of this entire bracket, really.
Yep.
We're going with new blood. We're going with new people. That's what this company's been needing to do.
Yep.
Since the CM Punk stuff,
and not just that,
I think
not just that, but also a new heel as well with Ethan Page. You might not like him, you might not like Ethan Page, but they're pushing him as a heel, and they need heels, especially if MJF potentially turning.
Exactly. I think Full Gear serves as the ultimate reset for this company. That's kind of what we've been just waiting to get to, because then you can start to build real stories from there on out. I think that's kind of why the build to the show's been messy in some ways, other ways obviously great.
Mm-hmm.
With Moxley and MJF, and I'd say Jamie and Tony. I think they've built that up actually decently well, especially bringing in the friendship and stuff now.
Yeah, I've been,
but I think that's kind of why it's been messy, is because like, you had a plan in place, obviously, and then so much happened.
Yeah.
So you had to go away from it. But Full Gear feels like the reset.
Mm-hmm.
You have a great pay-per-view, and then you go from there. I know the Dynamite didn't have many people happy this past week. I know I had you happy. I was
vibing.
It's funny? A lot of people's least favorite part was JEFF.
Oh, I saw you and I both saw on, I think it was your Discord or something, just meltdowns happening of JEFF.
Oh yeah, people hate Jeff Jarrett, which means when I talk to someone who's a longtime TNA guy, he's like, I love Jeff Jarrett. He's the only last real heel.
The last.
Everyone hates him.
Yeah, he does. Everyone hates him.
Everyone hates Jeff Jarrett, and that wasn't even the problem for me, because I was like, they're just gonna have Sting and Darby beat him. I don't care.
Yeah,
great. It's just one thing. And the reason they signed him, I actually thought was good for the live event stuff. Like, bringing in a guy to do that. I thought that was great. I know we had news and stuff, but I'm just kind of
you want to finish out this bracket and then start talking Jarrett, or you want to go straight into Jarrett?
We'll finish the bracket.
Finish the bracket. Ethan Page versus Bandito. Ethan Page winning. Pay-per-view match is Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks.
I don't think that's bad.
And then
I know, so what have the finals been? All right, well, comparably, the finals the past 2 years have been a little bit better. 2 years ago you had Hangman and Kenny, and then last year you had Miro and
Bryan Danielson.
Danielson.
That would also imply that Eddie Kingston doesn't have a pay-per-view match, and all these other people don't have pay-per-view matches.
Bandito not having a pay-per-view match would not shock me.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine with that.
He doesn't even have the graphic yet.
Brian Cage, not surprised. Dante Martin, not surprised. Lance Archer, not surprised. Roosh, kind of surprised. Eddie Kingston's a big surprising factor there.
I just need Tony Khan to embrace my idea of doing the one good thing Ring of Honor did when they were going into the shitter, and that's just go half lucha all the time. Their problem is the rest of their roster was mid and bad, so they couldn't succeed. But the lucha part was great.
Yeah,
lucha
part was the best part of Ring of Honor. Is it Kalisto?
Yeah, you know how he used to scream lucha?
He did scream lucha.
I'm doing the thing.
You're doing the thing. Let's move on and talk about Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett. This guy, Jeff Jarrett, shows up in AEW, attacks Darby Allin. People exploded on Twitter, exploded in the Discord. I was into it.
This was a surprise.
I think I'm trying to think of Brian's sources. Would his sources have been like Conrad and everyone about Jeff Jarrett, or would his sources have been
I think Jeff Jarrett's a big thing no matter
Shibata,
what.
or would have sources have been Shibata? That I
It
feel
could
like
have
it's
been either one.
yeah.
That's the problem.
I lean to the
He
Shibata
meant
one.
Shibata,
Yeah,
but at the time of viewing, how could you not think it was Jeff Jarrett?
yeah, yeah. Which is the ultimate fake out as well. Everyone
Yeah.
immediately thinking, "Oh, it's Jeff Jarrett," and then maybe get the double fake out of this. So yeah, so I thought this debut of Jeff Jarrett. Well, one when Cole Carter came out, that was the fucking
Oh,
the quiet fart in
I
church.
almost shut off the TV.
That was the loudest fart in church, I should say. It was like awful. It was you
Yeah,
could hear pin dropping. It was so bad. I don't
yeah.
understand what they're thinking with Cole Carter. I feel like we're trying to make Cole Carter a thing. I can see him as a prospect, sure, but I don't know what we're doing here. But then ultimately, once Jeff Jarrett came out and whacked Darby and Allen in the head of a guitar, leaving him in a literal puddle of his own blood, I was like, well, that fucking ruled. And then Jeff Jarrett, cuts a promo and all this stuff, and like we talked about with the Ric
Promo was
Flair.
stupid because he then was announced to be part of the company in a professional role. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
all right.
So let's
But
talk about that part. So the wrestling aspect to it, he is a last outlaw. He is this jaded. It looks like they're really heavily saying this jaded ex promoter, maybe because they really heavily leaned on Impact. Really talked about how he's the Impact relationships between Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal,
yeah,
and Cole Carter and Satnam Singh. I guess Satnam Singh representing Impact's love for Indian talent. It's not a bad thing. They really leaning into that. So I think it's like a jaded ex promoter thing, but also
yeah,
maybe it's interesting because he's like, Sting is holding you back, and Sting was like a big part of that
yeah.
Impact run there, this TNA run there. So what do you think of as a on-screen character role? What do you feel about Jeff Jarrett in this company?
I'll act like I didn't see Tony Khan's tweet. Uh,
Exactly. That's what I'm
when
asking.
talking about
That's what
this.
I'm asking.
Um, I think for 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks total, and the pay per view, it's perfectly fine. Like, it's a fine story. I will say, you know what shocked me, and I don't think this is a big deal because I love Sting, but I am kind of shocked, and I think this is why people don't complain, that people don't complain about Darby Allin's entire booking of the past like year just being about Sting and not him. Like,
Mhm.
I'm shocked that people don't complain about that
It's tough to complain about it because all of those matches, those
because we
tag
love Sting.
matches are one. We love Sting, but all the tag matches also
Yeah.
kicked ass every time.
Oh, I know. I was just like, it's shocking to me that well, not. It's not. It really isn't because people like people and people don't like people.
Yes.
Like if Sting was Jeff Jarrett, oh my god, we'd be hearing about Darby Allin for the rest of time and how he was wasted for Jeff Jarrett and blah blah blah.
He
But because it's Sting and his tag matches rule, it's like, oh no, this is worth it. This is great. This is great.
Ever since losing the TNT title, Darby has really been on a hamster wheel.
Oh
Which
yeah, he has.
a pretty kick-ass, flames coming
Better
out the
hamster
side,
wheel than
flames
most
coming out the
people.
side, spiked
Yeah.
wheel. It's like a cool ass hamster wheel, but it's still a hamster wheel nonetheless.
That's built a long time ago.
I know that was like a year ago. Jeff Jarrett coming in saying, Sting holding you back, we're kind of saying is in a way kind of correct. Maybe they might eventually start going into a Sting Darby parting ways gimmick.
Mm.
I don't know, but I'm interested to see where we go with this. Maybe Sting aligns with Jeff. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, that's not gonna
Don't
happen.
do that.
I mean, at the very least, it feels like we're
babyface the rest
leading
of the time.
to. The very least, it feels like we're leading to Sting, Darby versus Jay and Jeff Jarrett. I forgot
Double J.
Double J.
J and Double J. Yeah, like to me, I think that's fine. Like it's a fine match to put on your show. It'll probably be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
I don't care enough to be like, I can't believe this is on here. Um, Obviously, would I have liked to see a different story be told altogether in a different way? Sure, but this has been the Lethal Darby story. They had a secret friend, and Sting wasn't around, and now Sting will come around,
Mm-hmm.
and people will lose their minds, and then they'll make the match, and then guess what? The heels will lose. Don't think Double J's taking that pin though.
No. That's what Jay Lethal's there for.
Exactly.
No, they're basically Tony Khan is doing his version of the Ric Flair's last match tour, right?
It will be better.
They're that's what he's doing. He's doing his version of Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett teaming up against the young gun and the old legend, right? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Except this match will probably be better. More than likely, I'm going to give it a good shot. It's going to be better, but still.
What are the chances? Now, just think about it here with me.
Mhm.
That the Andrade Darby feud was supposed to be Andrade and Ric Flair versus Sting and Darby Allin before Ric Flair, got in trouble and wasn't good to bring in.
Oh, like originally that was the original plan? I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, at least the match.
Yeah.
I feel like that was very possible.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the original plan of Tony Khan because we all know he were planning on bringing in Ric Flair at this point. At the time that was happening, he was feuding with Darby. So yeah, I think you're right. They would have eventually. Now, would it have eventually become a match in AEW?
They would have got physical, at least.
Yeah, I could see at least physicalness. I don't know if Tony Khan would allow that match to happen.
I'd hope not.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Just
money.
interesting thought,
Definitely a lot of money in it, as we saw.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It's an interesting thought. I was thinking about that when I saw this. I was like, Ric Flair was definitely supposed to be part of that feud. But I'm happy. I like Sting matches, so I don't care. I don't care enough to complain about this. There was more on the show, especially Cole Carter, that I could have complained about. Cole Carter, I wanted to shut the show off and never watch again.
Yeah, I'm more upset.
I think that's why they did it, so that people were like, "Oh, it's Jeff Jarrett."
Yeah, I'm more that's lower expectations to the floor with Cole Carter, and then it's like, oh, Jeff Jarrett, that's interesting. That's an interesting theory.
People hate Jeff Jarrett, so it's like he was never going to get a good reception.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about also the tweet that Tony Khan put out as well. It was your classic all elite graphic, but he also said, welcome to #AEW Dynamite to the new AEW Director of Business Development, Jeff Jarrett. Tony Khan went on to say he looks forward to expanding the AEW live events calendar in 2023 in future years with JJ, Mookie Ghana, Chris Harrington, Raphael Morphy, and our entire great AEW team. So there's two big news items there, obviously. One, Jeff Jarrett, new AEW Director of Business Development. Don't know what that entirely means. Based on the second part of the tweet, I have to imagine it's some sort of element of his former executive role with WWE, which was Senior Vice President of Live Events, which during his time in WWE, when he did the live events, he had reinvigorated the live event division a little bit, got the ticket sales up. Now, was it during the time where they went back to touring and did all this extra stuff? Yeah, so ticket sales probably naturally would have gone up nonetheless. But Jeff Jarrett was there to do that. He was there taking the blame for it, I guess, or the praise for it.
Jeff Jarrett's always there at the right time.
Always there at the right time. So, he did reinvigorate the WWE's live events to an extent, I guess, whether or not he actually would have done it, if it would have been someone else or not. So bringing him in, don't blame Tony Khan for doing that. I think that's a good idea. Ticket sales have been on a downward trend as of late. So I think bringing in someone to help reinvigorate that is a good idea. Now, the second half of that tweet, though, expanding the live events calendar. I read that as house shows might be on the way. If we're bringing in Jeff Jarrett, Senior Vice President of Live Events sort of stuff, did that for WWE, if he might be starting house shows for AEW, something that is also, obviously more money on the table for AEW, but something apparently some of the roster have asked to do is more shows to wrestle more. That is something that to me seems around the corner now. What do you think?
Live events wise, I think they probably, or house show wise to be exact, I think they probably add a couple a month. If that's the goal. Any a month is a good ad, right? Because I think a lot of the complaints here is that so many of your prospects, especially, right? Like all these prospects that we talk about, all their training comes either off camera or in a squash match on AEW Dark. So it's like how much training can you possibly get? I think house shows where nothing's televised, you could just do matches, right? Like no one cares. That's people do it all the time. They have, WWE does Roman Reigns versus I don't know, name main event wrestler Drew McIntyre like up the wazoo on house shows, but does it matter? No, because it's not televised, right? Like that's how they gain their chemistry and that's how they get better. Giving AEW guys a chance to gain more chemistry is not a bad thing, right? I think it's a great idea if you bring in at least any house show. We haven't had any in I know they had like the one at like Daly's place once upon a time, which actually had some fun matches, I remember. But I think this
Right.
is a great idea. And bring on Jeff Jarrett. I mean, Jeff Jarrett, we could say he was right place, right time, but success is success. He probably wants to prove that he could be a success, right? He got fired pretty quickly there. I think it's a smart move moving forward. Um he's pretty much an agent moving forward too, I'm sure. So it
Probably,
makes
yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah, when I first saw that we're bringing in Jeff Jarrett, I was concerned, of course, that we were bringing him
Yeah.
in to do some sort of, he's going to be some sort of. I mean, I think that's another part. Also, I saw Explosion. People interpreting this as bringing Jeff Jarrett in as like a booker, as like somebody
Oh
to
yeah.
do. It's like no,
Yeah,
no,
you
no,
don't
no.
bring a guy that's failed 2 companies to do that.
Yeah, like I saw a lot of people like assuming this is him as like a booker kind of person, which I was confused by because as we see through this tweet, he's not. He has no hand in the booking. It's still Tony Khan, so that's not going to change. He's just an on-screen talent. And when it comes to live event stuff, he's just gonna talk to arenas and I guess and help book shows, right? I mean that's the idea and help and help and if you're upset that Jeff Jarrett's coming in, you got to be happy that potentially we're getting house shows that they can be running
Yeah,
more shows at smaller venues at cheaper ticket prices, maybe.
right,
And all these wrestlers can wrestle more and get what they want, and
right.
potentially not just wrestle more, but down the line, that's an argument to also getting more money out of your contract with AEW.
Mm,
And also that's if one of the complaints is I'm not wrestling enough, going back to WWE, I can wrestle more then you wrestle more in AEW, and that takes away something from WWE's contract negotiations.
mhm,
So it's all a good idea for the long haul, for the long
yeah,
road for AEW,
yeah,
I think.
and, like, house shows, you don't have to have or it could be whoever just wants to wrestle,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's why all these wrestlers take indie bookings, outside bookings, because they just want to wrestle. I know, crazy. Crazy that wrestlers wanna wrestle.
Huh?
Um, but I think it's great. I think it's great, that's a way to get, like, people into the situation too. Like, maybe they're not on TV, right? But, oh, you can go to a house show and see them, right? Instead of like,
Yeah.
oh, you could turn on Dark and watch 3 minutes of their squash match. Oh, thanks, appreciate it. Like, yes, you're not gonna be able to see them on TV because house shows are house shows. But if they're coming to your town, you could see them. So that's
Mm-hmm.
cool, right? Like, I think it's a good idea. I had my complaints last week, mostly about stars not being on TV. He brought a good decent amount back, at least with this tournament. Hopefully, they don't all fall out of the system after that, which I'm sure Lance Archer will. I'm sure Brian Cage has been on TV, so maybe
Yeah.
not him. Dante Martin's in and out. I know Dante Martin's one I don't get mad at because like obviously he's supposed to be a tag team and his brother gets hurt or is dealing with stuff
Yeah.
all the time, so it's like, it's a tough one. But like, hopefully, this means Ricky Starks is in, Ethan Page is in. Like, I'm not even a big Ethan Page guy at all,
Yeah.
but you put people on TV, you see if they could sink or swim. That's what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing with this tournament.
That's
And
also what wrestling is at the end of the day. You gotta
yeah,
see if you can cultivate new stars. Maybe Ethan Page is finally
that's
gonna click for
that was my
people.
biggest complaint last week.
Yeah.
So you couldn't make new stars. All right, give them a shot. See if they can do it. I mean, I feel pretty confident Ricky Starks can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on his promo. But
It felt like a little shout out to you in that promo, didn't it?
I did. I was a little emotional. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, my man, my man. That was after like the thing came out about how he was dealing with stuff, and I saw some people tweet like, "Oh, shocker! People don't know what's going on behind the scenes." I was like, Do you want me to just assume that with every person ever that's not booked?" I was like, "I can't just assume that.
Yeah,
That's worse."
we talked about it last week. Is that like that's part of the frustration as well of AEW not saying anything?
Yeah,
Is
we
that
don't know anything.
you don't know if people are just simply not getting booked, they're dealing with something personal, or they're injured,
They're hurt,
or they're injured. So it's like,
right. It's like I don't know what to assume.
At this point,
I don't want to assume the worst.
I don't want to assume the worst, but at this point, and maybe
But I have to, I guess.
This is, but well, I don't want to assume the worst. I don't want to assume anything. And what AEW sort of made me do is not think about wrestlers when they're gone, because they could be going through something, they could be injured, they could simply not get booked. I'm just going to focus on the guys on the screen because I don't know. Oh, where's Ricky Starks? Well, apparently he could just be injured. I have no fucking idea. I said that last week. That was like, well, maybe he's gone because he's injured. I have no idea, because that's what they do in this company.
Well, the Ricky Starks thing was just so weird because I saw him have a match with Nick Comoroto on like Dark like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then he had the end of Rampage where he Grand Slam where he beat Hobbs. So I was like, I feel like they were heating him up. What happened?
Yeah.
But I get it. And the thing with Powerhouse Hobbs too. I'm just happy he's on TV now.
Speaking of people,
that's where I'm at.
Speaking of people that just want to wrestle and is happy to be on television, Katsuyori Shibata showed up on Dynamite.
Yeah, this is what I was like. I don't give a shit what else happened on this show. This is all that matters. I mean, there was like 1,000 heel beatdowns. I don't give a shit enough to be like, this was they weren't good. They got annoying.
Things were happening on this Dynamite, and that's why
right. Like the end of Rampage was the only beatdown that really bothered me, and that's because I watched it on. Nope, it wasn't on Rampage. It was on Dynamite, but it happened at the end of Rampage like 2 weeks in a row. Which the Hobbs hold up the title, but that's because not everyone watches Rampage. So you gotta replay it, folks.
Mm-hmm.
But Shibata showed up, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, so
nothing else could touch this.
So Shibata showed up. He accepted Orange Cassidy's All Atlantic title match, All Atlantic Dream title match for Friday's Rampage. That match, of course, took place. I thought that was a really good match between the two. Shibata, everyone was sort of concerned about, maybe Shibata would win, maybe Shibata would lose.
I hoped Shibata would win. I didn't expect him to win.
Me too. I think that's right. I was really hoping. I thought it was a good shot too, especially when we also hear that he wanted to wrestle with Orange Cassidy and also Bryan Danielson. Apparently, there's a report saying that he's actually a big fan of AEW and wanted to wrestle these two guys. So that caused
that Ryan's, hey, he just like me moment.
Yeah. That caused
the wrestle part.
That caused the sort of like thought process of maybe Shibata actually will win on Friday. So that probably sold a couple more tickets, got a couple more eyes on the product. Wrestling. they work the sheet, or whatever. But yeah, so we know that he wants to work Danielson. We had a match. He took bumps on Friday too.
Oh, yeah, he had a real match.
People were concerned that, maybe not concerned, but people wondering whether it'd be
I'm always concerned watching him. I sat there like like sitting there just like I'm a little scared. I know it's Orange Cassidy though, so I wasn't too worried.
Yeah, people were wondering online whether or not he would be doing more of a comedy style match, which kind of started not really comedy style. They kind of started with the lethargic wrestling style of Orange Cassidy,
and then they went in.
And then he's taking bumps on his neck, bumps on his head, bumps all over the body, kicks and all that jazz. It was a real match, and it was a really good match too. And it really had the feeling of a fight as well that Shibata brings to a fight, to any sort of match. Yeah. So I was really into it. But now, hey, look, if down the pipeline at some point we get Danielson Shibata, fuck, I'm there for it, dude. I am so into it.
That will actually terrify me the entire time.
Two guys that have both had a lot of medical issues. Before. Yeah. A lot of medical issues.
Awesome.
Let's throw in Sting in that. Let's throw in Saraya. Why not Saraya? Let's just throw Saraya in.
Let's just toss Edge. No, actually, we can keep Edge.
Yeah.
The exciting part here is that Shibata wrestled the match, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I want him to win the title most is because it would have guaranteed another match. I just needed guarantees because after he fought Red Narita at Wrestle Kingdom, which was great, we didn't hear about a word about him since, except that he got in trouble for having a real match, right?
Yep.
And that's when I started to realize, like, is this guy ever gonna wrestle again?
Yeah.
And hey, he had another match. I believe there'll be another match. I don't know how if you're New Japan, you don't book him for Wrestle Kingdom, but they seem very adamant on not having him wrestle, or at least concerned, which is fair, as you should be. But I mean, it's Katsuyori Shibata. I know certain two guys that aren't very busy right now, Naito and Tanahashi. I'm just saying, if you want to just have a little exhibition, you know.
I say let's do it.
Don't do Shingo. Shingo actually might hurt him.
I mean, Tanahashi versus Shibata is a nice little match there too, because that's a lot of history as well with that match.
Yeah, give me the history. Give me the rematch of one of the best title matches of all time. Twist my arm.
Twist my arm, why don't you?
More Shibata. That's what we're saying.
I say let's just start talking about Battle Autumn. I say let's just go straight in. We got more news. We'll maybe circle back on the news. But let's say
we'll come back to the WWE stuff.
Yeah, we're in the New Japan realm right now. Let's ride that wave straight into
Battle ride the wave.
Let's go straight into Japan. New Japan Battle Autumn. The final night of the tour took place last Saturday. My voice cracked. It was the conclusion of that tour. And I thought straight up and down the card, I didn't watch all the show. But of what I watched
everything but one match.
I watched everything but I think 2 matches. I think. I gotta look at the card. Yeah, I watched everything of 2 matches. In hindsight, I should have watched that. I should have watched that Hikuleo match maybe, since it was like 30
I didn't watch that either. You're right. I didn't watch that or the Aussie Open match.
You didn't watch the Aussie? Oh, yeah, I also didn't see the Aussie Open match.
No, I didn't watch the Aussie Open match.
It was way too much 8-way match.
Yeah, I was gonna say way too many parts I didn't give a shit about.
That's fair. Those are the 2 matches I didn't watch. But of the matches I did see, I thought this was a really, really good show. The majority of the show that I watched, there wasn't a match I thought was bad. Everything was at least good. I had 3 4+ star matches on the show.
Wow, I had 1.
Really? Okay, well, let's talk about those matches. So, of
course, 2 of them were very borderline, so it's probably the same too.
Well, let's talk about it. So, the opening match of this night was IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship. Francisco Akira and TJP defending and defeating their titles against the team of Titan and Bushi. What did you think of this match?
I love Titan.
Me too.
I love this guy.
I love him.
I didn't know how good Akira and TJP were together until I saw this match.
Yeah.
They were really good together. I thought Bushi felt rejuvenated in a lot of ways, that he kind of had a guy like Titan to work with. This match was great. The second best match, tied for second with the other match that I enjoyed on the show. But this is how you open up a pay-per-view like show, right? This is how you do. This was Wrestle Kingdom-esque from back in the day when they just toss these crazy tags on there and they go off. It excited me for the Junior Tag League. That's what this did. Which, Ryan, I don't know if you know this, that takes a lot nowadays
to excite you for Junior for the Tag League.
But I'm excited for these 2 teams. I'm excited for Leo Rush and Yo, because if Yo's good at anything, it's tag team wrestling, right? So I'm pretty amped. I'm pretty hyped. But I'm looking forward to this. This was great. Great way to open the show. More of this. More of these just high-paced matches. I think you got to keep those titles on Kira and TJP to do that for a little bit.
Yeah, I thought this match was phenomenal. I was blown away by just the chemistry of Akira and TJP. And, I thought there was some mess ups here and there for Titan and Bushi, but ultimately for a team that is like first time teaming, I think.
Yeah.
still really, really good stuff from the two of them.
Yeah.
This was undoubtedly the best Bushi match I've seen in years. But this match was fantastic. I love Teton.
Akira's so good, by the way.
Across the network with Curtis over on Okada Shorts. I know he loves Teton, so he probably is praising this match as much as we are. This match was fantastic. I really, really loved this match. I thought this was great. I went 4 stars on it. Straight 4. I thought it was great. I really loved the speed, the energy, the pacing of everything was very great. This is just a great straight lucha-esque tag match for New Japan. I thought it was fantastic.
Akira is 23 years old.
That upsets me. That upsets me to no end. That upsets
me
to no end.
This dude is going to be locked into this division for a long time. He is in the right group.
Yes.
Because he's learning from a guy who came into this division, right, and took the world by storm. Now he's a lot smaller than Ospreay, so he's not going to ever step up to heavyweight.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean he's gonna be a key part, and I'm excited for that. And I thought TJP was really good teaming with him. I mean, I haven't seen TJP wrestle in a long time. I realized when I put this on, I was like, isn't he just in New Japan? How have I not seen him wrestle? He's disappeared from U.S. television. In Impact, he's left it.
Well, he was on like MLW as well, but that obviously.
Oh, that's not a real company. Oh, Battle Riot was this week, by the way. So someone had a great tweet. They said, when Battle Riot, so MLW's current world includes a world where CM Punk isn't gone from AEW. The Brawlout didn't happen. Vince McMahon's still in power. Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
MLW announced a match with Scarlett Bordeaux in it. That's where we're at with MLW. Is they announced a Scarlett Bordeaux match who is currently in WWE again. Can you believe it? But I'm very excited. I think Akira has ways to go. I think him as a heel, honestly aligning him with TJP works better because obviously TJP is a more natural heel than Akira. And
Akira will be a great babyface.
He's gonna be a fantastic babyface one day, but right now he is still learning that heel mannerisms. Yeah.
He just wrestles.
Yes,
that's what he does now.
He just wrestles.
I'm okay with that.
And TJP does the heel stuff, so that's also okay. I love the one one real heel thing for me that I loved. Maybe not heel, but you can turn that as a face thing. Was I think it was like Teton on the ground. Kira goes on TJP's shoulders. He flips around 360, and while he's on the shoulder, he's like, "Picture, take a picture," and then slams down. I love that. That popped me. But yeah, I'm excited to see the future for these two guys, or all 4 of these guys. Really, I'm reinvigorated in seeing Bushi because he's teaming up with Teton. All it took was Teton. Oh, I'm so excited.
We love Teton.
We did not watch these 2 matches, but it was Gideon Gray, Aaron Hanari, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis defeated Toriano, David Finlay, and Hiroshi Tanahashi and Alex Zane. Who took the fall in that one? It was Yano that took the fall. It looks like. Who could have guessed it? Then we also skipped this match. This match was 30 seconds long, so I don't know why neither of us watched it.
I didn't know that until this morning.
You and I were both so uninterested in this whole thing that and didn't care about Yujiro and all this stuff that we didn't even.
No. You don't just say Yujiro. I didn't care about Hikuleo.
All right, that's fair. Also fair, but
Yujiro had a good match with someone in the G1.
Kota Ibushi?
Yeah, I think it was Ospreay. Oh, that was good. That one was really good.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why he had good matches with Ospreay and Kota Ibushi.
Hey, that's when Kota Ibushi was a little washed. Don't forget that.
So yeah, Hikuleo defeated Yujiro Takahashi in 30 seconds. I'll read the entire match for us. Before the opening bell, Sho helped Yujiro blindside Hikuleo with an unfair assault. This is obviously coming from Wrestling Observer. Hikuleo withstood the assault, beat down both members of House of Torture, called for the opening bell himself, chokeslammed Yujiro, and won the match in 30 seconds. Afterwards, he called out Carl Anderson. So
God, that story sucks ass.
So we're building that story again. I'm under the assumption it's gonna be at Wrestle Kingdom.
You know, it'd be smart if you just got the belt off of Carl Anderson, right?
Mhm.
You just took Hikuleo out of the title picture. You gave the belt to Shingo, and you just do Shingo and Tanahashi and call it a day.
Yeah, yeah. Shingo.
I'm just here to book great matches. I'm not here to worry about everything else.
Maybe that's why Tanahashi's not doing anything, just in case they need to pull the trigger or not pull the plug on Carl Anderson. WWE pulls the plug there, and then it'll be like, Tanahashi, you go in, you go in and do this.
That would be insane if they're just like, yeah, we're not going to use one of our biggest stars just in case Carl Anderson isn't able to show up.
That's who knows. New Japan World TV title, TV Championship Tournament semifinal. Ren Narita defeated Sonata. I spoke ill of Ren Narita. I am wrong to do that. I admit my mistakes here. I did not think that Ren Narita would be beating Ishii, beating Sonata, beating who else did he beat? Yano. Well, that one I can guess. But at the time, you and I both thought it would be Great Okan. But now he has beaten 3 of those guys and is now going to finals to face Zack Sabre Jr. So Ren Narita, this guy, they've got something. They are doing it with this guy.
Acknowledge me. I told you. I didn't doubt him for a second. This guy is money.
I didn't say that he isn't money. I was just surprised that they're doing it.
You said he wasn't going to win, and I said no. This belt is made for him. Yes. It's his belt.
Yes.
It's a shitty belt, but it's his belt.
Over the course of this tournament, that has become abundantly clear. It is 100% his.
This dude. Now, this match wasn't all that special.
No, it was fine. Compared to the Ishii match, nothing.
Oh, yeah. It didn't even come close. Yeah. But the way this guy hits that belly to belly with the bridge, it gets me out of my seat every time because it's picture perfect. This dude, everyone's like, oh, well, Sonata, he faced Sonata, Shibata clone. And who cares? Is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what Katsuyori Shibata did as a wrestler? He was just one of the greatest of all time. Oh, God forbid, Ren Narita goes on to be one of the greatest of all time.
Also, what Shibata was doing, was super old school stuff. That strong style, that old school style that he was doing. Now, Ren Narita's continuing that through the old school ideology through Shibata. Learn from Shibata. Yeah, he looks almost exactly like Shibata in terms of facial hair and long and head of hair.
Who gives a shit?
Who cares? I like to see great wrestling. I don't care if he's a clone of Shibata. He's a great wrestler.
You know what's gonna happen now? Now we're gonna have him and Zack Sabre Jr. absolutely destroy at Wrestle Kingdom. That should open the damn show. You want to get crazy? Open the show with that.
That's not a bad idea.
15 minutes time limit. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Just do it. Just real nice and quick. Right, nice and quick on Wrestle Kingdom.
We don't Narita, baby.
Let me see. I feel like have they not established when that final was taking place previously?
No, they said it's at Wrestle Kingdom.
They have. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And by the way, everybody.
By the way,
the future is here in New Japan. We'll get to that later.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see what that tease is for. But
had to do with Ren Narita, of course, too.
Had to do it. Yeah. Next match was also for the semifinal tournament of the New Japan World TV title tournament. Zack Sabre Jr. defeats Evil. Zack Sabre Jr. comes out with a young lion comes out dressed as Zack Sabre Jr. They get beaten up. Another young lion comes out as Zack Sabre Jr. They also get beaten up. Then Zack Sabre Jr.
didn't respect the MVP of this match, which was the hat that said, I am also Zack Sabre Jr.
I am Zack Sabre Jr. I am also Zack Sabre Jr. And then Zack Sabre Jr. tried a quick crucifix, didn't get it, and then continued the match. I thought this was also pretty good. I had fun with this.
Entertaining.
This is very fun.
So much
fun. I thought. Go ahead.
House of Torture can be really entertaining when they're fucking up. Like when Dick Togo grabbed Evil's foot. I was like, oh, that's funny. because Zack Sabre Jr. got in the ring so fast
Yeah.
that he's like, and then Evil's just like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
there's little things like that. I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't a great match or anything. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, he is he's a lot of fun. His sort of like, shit-eating grin against Evil works very well comedically.
Yeah,
Like this is very funny and very fun to watch.
yeah.
Not a single ref bump, I don't believe, during this match too, so that was fun.
No, it was quick.
It was nice little. Finally, Zack Sabre Jr. is doing quick matches for these 15-minute time limits. He's always, he's always going long in those 15 minutes. But yeah, no, now it's set. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Red Narita for Wrestle Kingdom for the New Japan World TV title. Whew. Get
Good
into
one.
it.
That's a good one.
Get
That
into
card's looking pretty good so far.
Let's talk about Master Wato and El Desperado versus Hiromu Takahashi and Taiji Ishimori. On the tin, they called it an incredible tag match. Scotty.
Ryan's about to have to acknowledge Master Wato. And I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this.
I mean, I'll acknowledge Master Wato as much as I acknowledge Bushi in that tag match earlier. This
I think
undoubtedly
Master Wato's figuring it out.
I think he's figuring out.
He has potential still, unlike Bushi.
Yeah, well, Bushi's way past. Yeah, Bushi doesn't have any potential.
Bushi's
Way
old.
past. He's old at this point. Yeah, maybe he still has a little more potential in him. I still have to see it. He is in the ring with Desperado and Taiji Ishimori and Hiromu Takahashi.
Okay.
That's like
But
saying,
hear me out here.
That's like saying
those
Yujiro,
three are always those three are in the ring with each other at all times.
That's like saying Yujiro has potential when he's facing Ospreay and Ibushi.
Oh my god, your disrespect of Master Wato is ridiculous. He's figuring it out. Give him a little respect. He was good in this match. Everyone was good in this
He was great in this match. This match I thought was
excellent.
Fantastic. It was more than incredible. It was flipping fantastic.
Wow. I don't know what that means.
I went 4 1/4 on this bad boy.
Whoa, that's what it means.
I thought this match was so good. It was a perfect use of like a perfect subversion of classic tag team wrestling, and not just tag team wrestling, but the idea. It was a subversion of tag team wrestling, but a insane off the rails escalation of the can they coexist storyline. It was 2 teams that are made up of 4 opponents for Wrestle Kingdom, all wanting their tag partner to also be hurt going into Wrestle Kingdom and going to the tag league and all this other stuff. I thought this was fantastic. I would love to see this match again. I said you keep the teams for Junior Tag League. Fuck it, why not? That'd be hilarious. I'm into it. I was super into this match. This was so good that, like I said, the subversion, the escalation of all that stuff was fantastic. The tags from going to just slapping each other and stuff to shoot just drop kicks and throwing people off into guardrails and counting those as tags. I thought that was fantastic work. Fantastic effort all around. I will give Master Wato praise here. He did a really good job in this match. Everyone did a really great job in this match. I thought this was so good. I want to see more of it. I don't know how I can see more of it, but it felt like something I've never seen before in wrestling. And that is how much I love this match. It was so good.
I'll say I don't want to see more of it, and here's why. Because it'll get old really fast.
That's probably true.
It's the type of thing you want to use sparingly because it can be great every time you use it.
Totally agree.
Like, because the idea of will they coexist is run through a wall. It doesn't go away. We have to see it every few weeks. There's a very good chance we might have to see it with John Moxley and MJF against the Firm. Like, there's a decent chance that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's more intriguing when a company like New Japan does it, because that's not what they do.
Yeah.
Right? They don't do that. Like, they're not going to put Okada and Jay White on the same team against, like, Ospreay and his opponent at Wrestle Kingdom, right? They're not going to do that, though that'd be awesome if they did. So getting to see this, it felt fresh. It felt new. I agree with you. It
Yeah.
was great. Everyone played their role perfectly. I thought Watto and Desperado were hysterical because they just started beating the crap out of each other at all times. I also thought when Hiromu tagged in Ishimori and just drilled him,
Yeah.
that was fantastic.
And then threw him in the ring to try to pin him.
Yeah, that was awesome. He was literally sitting there waiting for the pin, and then he's like, ah,
And then I
ah.
I
I
love
loved it.
Despy and Master Wato both putting finishers on, Ishimori and Hiromu.
Yeah.
Then I believe it was Hiromu that reversed Despy's finisher into his own.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and Despy was like, "Come on, Wato, you got to break this so we can win." And Wato was like, "No, no, I'm keeping this hold on. You figure it out."
That was good.
The
That was
idea
good.
that like all of them
Yeah.
didn't care if they won or lost as long as their partner got hurt going into Wrestle Kingdom was great. I thought that was fantastic.
They played off each other perfectly. I think the Fatal 4-Way is going to be great
Yeah.
at Wrestle Kingdom. It does make me wonder how good this could have been if it was Kushida, as we all expected it to be.
That's a good point.
This poor Kushida. I don't know if he's ever coming back.
Yeah.
Poor guy. But I'm really excited for the match now. This was the perfect preview tag. Really,
Yeah.
it really was.
It made me so much more excited for the 4-way. And because the idea is like if they keep up this energy, and I was going to say as
Yeah.
well is that you talk about doing this with like heavyweights of Osprey and Naito or whoever, that it wouldn't work as well. And I think also part of that is this kind of match worked perfectly with the junior heavyweight style of that faster pace action, the high flying action. I think it worked better in that style. So if we can keep that idea, keep that energy, keep that style into the 4-way, the 4-way should be fantastic. It should be another 4-star at least match.
Yeah, I'm confident the 4-way is going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. They're gonna get each wrestler is gonna get a star. Here you go. Here's your star. Here's your star.
You're all gonna star, even Master Wato.
Everybody gets a star. Good for Master Wato. Moving on down the line, we had
He's a new gimmick, by the way.
Master Wato, the way to the Gray Master.
Back more than anything else.
Well, one of these days he'll be the champion, and that'll be him, the Grand Master, Master Wato, the Grand Master Wato. I did not see this match. I'm realizing now. Did you see Tama Tonga and Kazuchika Okada defeat Jay White and Kenta?
I did watch this.
What did you think of this match?
It was good. It was decent. Jay White's an absolute prick, and I love him because of that. This guy, and I know he does it like all the time, but he's going to the crowd. He goes, two, say it with me, two. And Kenta goes, they can't talk. He goes, oh, well, I can. Two, three. I was like, man, that's so stupid, but I love every bit of it. That was before the match started. The match was fine. You got a little Okada, Jay White. You got, them trading. Tama Tonga and Kenta had a really good close to this match, I thought. I thought Kenta kind of woke up, as he does. He does this in all his matches now, where like he'll do like the Bullet Club heel stuff, and then like towards the end of them, he starts to be Kenta. Yeah. And I'm like, just do that whole match. Just do that whole match. I can give you all the stars you want. Like remember last year when he was in that Noah match with Inamura, and he just absolutely destroyed him. Yes. I was like, oh, so you can do this whenever you want, but because you're in Bullet Club, you just don't do it. I'm sick of it. Let Kenta be Kenta. But it was fine. Preview tag.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. I was into it. I was super into this match. What am I saying?
Tonga as a baby face.
I watched this match. What am I saying? I thought we were talking about
Tonga as a baby face is very good.
I'm glad to hear that Kenta. I don't know what it is about.
Such a confusing guy.
I don't know what it is about these former Noah wrestlers, but between Kenta and Taiji Ishimori, man, these guys.
They just like to turn it on and shut it off whenever they want.
Yeah, these guys love shutting it off for sure.
He could be fighting for the top title and he'll shut it off.
That's true.
I don't feel like it.
Let's talk about the match. For some reason, my brain thought we were talking about because I was reading the title of it. IWGP Tag Team Title. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler defeated Jeff Cobb and Great Khan. What did you think of this tag team title match?
Listen, again, I know it's the fun thing. It's a cool thing nowadays to not like FTR. Man, they're so good.
Yeah.
And them in Japan was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want them here more. I want them here as much as they're going to be here. A certain Aussie was not very happy with them after this match. So I think we have our Wrestle Kingdom match, which
I agree.
boy howdy, as Ryan likes to say. It was good. I think the problem was it was just getting to that next level,
Mm-hmm.
and then it ended.
Yeah, it feels like totally like stuff left on the table didn't quite get there where it needed to
Yeah.
quite get there. Still very good. All four guys are very
Yeah,
good still.
of course.
I mean, ultimately as well, this is like, outside of like WWE, this is the first time FTR have been in Japan for years. So I don't blame them for, and especially not just Japan in years,
First
but
time together.
and in
Not in
the
WWE.
quiet crowd as well, right? So
Yeah.
they had
Mm.
stuff to figure out there for them. So I don't blame them. I don't blame them for getting a little awkward. They had to figure that
No,
out.
if they went another 5-10 minutes, this could have been in the conversations of the other great matches on the show.
That's probably true. I mean,
Because
honestly,
it
that's
was
probably
getting
true.
cooking. Great O'Connor was doing stuff, and then I was like, oh, it's over. All right, cool. Sounds good.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm just happy they retained it because I want them to keep going.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I understand where you're coming from there. Yeah, and
It's got to go win tag league now.
yeah, I think 100%, especially that post match promo with Aussie Open and FTR. 100%. They are taking the match from the 5-star match from Royal Quest 2 and just slapping it together, putting it on
New
Wrestle
Japan
Kingdom.
really said, this Royal Quest show, we booked it pretty good. Let's just take the matches from there and put them in Japan so that they're better. I don't know if they can match the Royal Quest match, but a certain other match is going to be better.
We'll see. Let's talk about the main event, IWGP US Heavyweight Championship match. Will Ospreay versus Tetsuya Naito. I gotta say it. I think Naito has found his new bump buddy in Will Ospreay. I gotta say it. They're bumping all over the place. I thought this match again, fantastic. I love this match. The beginning was a little.
I got a hot take.
Let me finish my thought, and then you can do your hot take.
Yeah, hit me with it.
I thought that the beginning was quick, but then it slowed down a little bit. But once it picked back up, the pace was insane. I love that sequence of Will Ospreay teasing a one-winged angel off the top rope. Then Naito reverses out of it. Then, little schmaz stuff. But then Will Ospreay puts Naito up for the Stormbreaker. Then Naito somehow reverses it into a Destino, which Ospreay takes on his neck. It's just like super flips over directly onto his neck. Just unbelievable sequencing from these two guys. Naito felt this felt like a reinvigoration of Naito a little bit as well. Like I thought he was fantastic. Really turned it on this match. Really was moving. I thought that Ospreay obviously. I mean, wrestler of the year. I mean, who else? Wrestler of the year for me for Will Ospreay is. It's just it's like his 2018, 2019, whatever year that was. That was a great year for him. This is, to me, this is the best year in wrestling from one guy I've seen. I thought this match was unbelievable. It's so good, just so good. What was your hot take?
I saw a lot of people say this match was better than the G1 match. I did not think that.
Ooh.
I thought the G1 match was better.
Right.
That's not to say this was bad.
Sure.
I think they were both. It was a fantastic 2 matches that they had. I just love the G1 one a little more, and I think what Ospreay did in those 2 days is historic stuff in a lot of ways, because that the match with Okada is my match of the year. I was about to
say, you're talking about the G1 final match of Ospreay versus Okada.
Yeah, that's my match of the year.
Yeah.
And the Naito one the day before I thought was almost just as special. But This was excellent. I'm not gonna sit here and shock anyone by saying I thought this was a tremendous match.
Yeah.
It was, and I think you kind of just sit down expecting that between these two. Um, I
I'll
think,
I'll sort of agree with that hot take too. I went 4 3/4 on this match. I was 5 for Okada Osprey. I thought Okada Osprey was definitely better
oh
than
no,
before.
I thought Naito Osprey from the G1 was
Oh,
better.
I see. I see what you're saying. All right.
I also think Naito, not Naito, Okada Osprey from the G1 is
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
because that's my match of the year.
Yes.
But and listen, this is like me being as picky as possible with these two matches.
Sure. They're
Like,
both. All three of them are great
yeah,
matches.
yeah. Like I remember the G1 Naito Osprey match not having as much downtime.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I liked it a little bit more. And I know
That's
some
fair.
people will prefer that, right? Because
Mhm.
it showed, and this match was longer, and all that good stuff. I think that's probably my little tidbit, but they're both fantastic, so it really doesn't matter. Um, I liked what you said about how Naito might have found his new running buddy in terms of something fresh. I mean, this was a match that they hadn't done, and now that we have two this year, and I want to give credit to Naito. Naito has had a very good underrated year.
Yeah.
Right? They've put him in all these big spots because in some ways I think they were trying to protect matches. In other ways, I think they didn't. They were trying to book big matches.
Mhm.
Um, and he showed up each and every time. I mean, they had him fight Okada how many times? 4 this year,
Yep.
which is insane. But
I think in any other year, you could maybe be like, oh yeah, Naito is potential wrestler of the year, maybe. Up there, maybe top
yeah,
5 or something like
which
that.
is incredible seeing where he is now in his career.
Yeah. I have him currently ranked number 16.
Yeah, he's low on mine too.
Yeah.
Not low, but like he's a lot lower than he's 22 for me.
I haven't
So like,
I have him tied actually with Julia.
wow, he's tied with
But
Bryan
also
Danielson.
that also goes to show, yeah, I have Brian Danielson at 15, so they're pretty much the same.
Wow, look at that! That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy that both of us have him pretty much at the same spot. But it also goes to show how good of a year Naito has had compared
Quietly.
to other men wrestlers. Comparing him to Julia, who is easily top 5, maybe top 2 choices for wrestler of the year. Probably by the end of the year will be female wrestler of the year. Maybe, but we'll see how that shakes out for her.
I mean, it's just an incredible year for Naito quietly. They put him in a lot of big matches. He showed up in a lot of big matches. This is the last or second to last, I guess, big pay-per-view for New Japan this year. And he was again in the main event for a title. He didn't win ever, but that's okay.
No, he did not win many matches this year, but he had a completely underrated year. 100%. Yeah, Naito.
He's Naito. He
Naito,
doesn't
baby.
need to have the big, loud, boisterous year to have a great year.
Yeah, and Will Ospreay, like I said, just unbelievable.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Pretty good wrestler, gotta say.
Pretty good. You may not, I know a lot of people hate him and just despise this man in his existence, but he's undeniable.
I think we were talking about that in the Slack of just like, man, this guy is real idiot, real dunce at times, has some,
I think he's cleaned himself up a lot.
I agree. I think he's cleaned himself up a lot.
Now he's just a character.
Yeah, now he's just I believe Lauren described him as like he is just the high school jock of like he's kind of a dunce, but he's ultimately like the best athlete in the world, and you're like, fuck, this guy's so good. I can't be mad at it though. God,
he's had a lot of great matches around the world this year.
It's like watching Logan Paul in WWE, where it's like, I don't really like Logan Paul. I don't like the Paul brothers.
I can't wait to talk about Logan Paul.
I don't really like the Paul brothers, but fuck if he's not a good wrestler. God damn it. I don't want to like him this much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Post match, Ospreay,
best part of the show, baby.
Ospreay, of course, post match, we're waiting for that challenger come out, maybe. And it turns out it was the return of Shota Umino in New Japan proper.
I was so happy. I watched this unspoiled. I didn't get to watch this until 11 p.m. last night. 11 p.m. I waited out all day because I knew there was going to be some surprise at the end. Because one, I thought it was going to be for the Wrestle Kingdom. Truthfully,
the match, yeah.
Originally, when I forgot that, because I thought historic crossover was honestly made for the most part. Because they put mood on it, so I was like, whatever. All right, sure. That's your big match. Thanks, New Japan. I appreciate your efforts.
Yeah.
But then he said historic crossover. I was like, oh, all right. So we're gonna have something buffering us. All right.
Yep.
And then they do the video and the lights and all this good stuff. And then he shows up and you hear the crowd. Oh, all right.
Baby.
The prince has returned.
Mr. Roughneck himself.
Roughneck, yeah, I don't know what the hell that's about.
Yeah.
Nothing about him comes off as rough.
No, he wears pink and white. We're calling
he wears pink and white. He has beautiful hair, all that good stuff. But let me tell you, he looked like a star here.
Yeah,
he it was so funny. I was like, this man went through some sort of portal on his way from Rev Pro in England, and they were like, finished product. All of a sudden. It's like, because, you and me have talked about with a shooter how he's great everywhere that isn't Rev Pro.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, he's just a different guy.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like the ultimate, oh, shit, this guy's a star. And that photo that was going around of him holding up the title over Ospreay, I was like, yeah, this is the dude.
You and I talked about it. The 4 young lions that were out there. Ren Narita
should be so happy.
And we kind of, I don't remember if we talked about when Ren Narita came back or right before then, but the idea of like Ren Narita, Shota Umino, Yota Tsuji eventually, Yuya Uemura, whatever the fuck's happening with that guy. That is,
I think he just wants to wrestle.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
That is 4 guys. You have 4 future stars
it's
right
so
there.
Funny.
It feels like
you can pretty much put each guy into their slot of like the old of New Japan stars. Like Narita's filling in that Shibata role, right, where he's gonna just be everywhere on the card and he's gonna kill it everywhere on the card. Shota's obviously gonna be a main eventer. Like it's just clear.
He feels like a next big 4 guy in the company. I mean,
it's just the look and the way he presents himself. Like, you may not have seen that out of this world match from him yet.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time you don't before they come back.
No, it takes a while. It took Jay White a while, I feel like, to get really into it. I mean,
Okada a while.
That's also true. This felt like, I mean, I was getting Jay White return vibes, not like vibes in terms of evil stuff, but big deal instantly vibes.
Yeah.
From him.
They did that with both of them.
Yeah.
They did that with Shota and Ren. Like, that's crazy, but that's so exciting. Like, they're going with the future now, and that's awesome. I think that's what New Japan's needed for a while, is that youth boost.
It's interesting because it's like we've obviously seen that they have, after the, it's long-standing conversation about how after the Okada Naito, Wrestle Kingdom story, all that stuff, that in all, who's the ultimate champion, all this stuff, and then we reboot the title and all this stuff, that it was them slowly reshuffling the, new stories are happening. It took a while. We saw the transition happen over the course. I think the pandemic really delayed it a lot, but the transition's been happening for like 2 years practically. Now we're finally getting to it. We're finally getting to the end of it. And it helps that The Office, who has been really loving what Stardom's been doing, is also pushing for it. You get Ren Narita. You get Shota Umino. You have Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji coming down the pipeline. You have all the other young lions, the Kazakhstan guy that's debuting at Stardom crossover. The other 3 young lions who, still in start of it, but we'll see. But then on the other side of that, you have all these American young lions that are now debuting. Alex Coughlin, Clark Connors, Kevin Knight, frickin' from England, Gabriel Kidd. Just the youth movement that you're talking about. I almost fell out my chair. The youth movement that you're talking about is starting now.
Yeah.
Get into it. I almost fell on my chair again. Get into it. I'm so hyped. Get into it. It's now. This is the moment to join New Japan World. Start watching this product because this is the next crop of wrestling stars for probably the next 10 years. Right?
10 at least.
At least. Get into it, folks. This is the time to start.
Here's what's so exciting, right? So you got Umino and Ren Narita showing up. They already feel like they're going to be the next big things, right? And I've been a shooter guy I come on this show every time he has a match and I find the pros, even if his match wasn't all that great.
Yeah.
Like that was my thing on this show anytime we had to see him. And like when I knew that it was going to work when he showed up at Forbidden Door.
Yes.
And did what he did. I was like, oh, he's locked in.
I agree.
I'm not worried.
I agree.
I'm not worried anymore. Because there was worry, obviously, when the pandemic came back, like when he came back after the pandemic.
It took him a while. He gained a lot of weight and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a pandemic life like all of us. Crazy.
That's true, I guess. I don't blame him.
But here's the thing, right? He's what, 22, 23, 24, 25, whatever. I don't know what his age. Rendry is around that age. Well, Yuya, Yota Tsuji, they're all around that age. You got Okada, who's still going to be around. He's only 35, I think. You got Jay White, who's 30. Only 30, right?
Yes.
He's going to be around. You have Will Ospreay, who's 29.
Fuck.
You're locked in. You're locked in for the next decade of greatness here in New Japan. Like, there's a golden era. Like, I know everyone was like, oh, the golden era's over. It just takes some time to build yourselves back up. Like, someone said to me, this was probably the best pandemic New Japan show in terms of just top to bottom. And I was like, yeah, without a doubt. Like, no doubt in my mind, because it felt like a New Japan show, right? You had something every single match that made sense. It wasn't filler, 2 great matches, and then that's the show, right? This was killer meaningfulness all throughout. Like, that's what you want. And the way to end this felt like it was the next step right into that new era. Like, yes, if Umino attacked Tanahashi or Okada, maybe it would have had a little more meaning, but it instead attacked Will Ospreay. I think that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty big deal. Former IWGP World Champion, reigning IWGP US Champion, and now Umino is in the signature New Japan match of one of the biggest shows of the year.
Not the main event, though. Didn't make
no,
the main event.
You're goddamn right he's not the main event. You're goddamn right he's not. Which is funny because I'm the shooter guy here. I'm all hyped about shooter. But listen, I'm always going to favor a promotion and a wrestler over everything else in wrestling. So you're goddamn right he's not the main event, but they're going to kill it.
Yeah, we talk about that youth movement. It's still unbelievable though, because Ospreay is 29, Yota Tsuji is 29.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane.
He's almost ready though.
Okada,
he'll be back soon.
Okada's only 34.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, Okada's not going anywhere, guys.
Yeah, Okada's not going anywhere for a bit, but feels like he's been wrestling for like a decade.
Here's a good for instance. Tanahashi's 45. Think of what Okada's going to do until he's 45.
Naito's 40, and his body is decrepit.
But then he does what he did in the main event. You're like, he's got some life left.
Great point. Yeah, no, it definitely feels like, and even then, maybe it's not even that. Maybe youth movement is not even the proper word. It's just because it's there are people who are the same age as top stars in New Japan now. It's more of the idea of that refreshing gust of wind that you feel on a nice day, that it's just like, oh man, this is what I've been needing. This is what I've been wanting. This is what has been needed in New Japan for a while now, for a little bit now, especially the past 2 years. But now we're finally getting to it.
Ishii.
Yeah, Ishii is going away. It's going to be upsetting. Tanahashi's slowly now becoming the dad. Ishii,
which is ridiculous because he's still so good.
Yeah, Ishii. I mean, that's what's insane about it. Ishii is going that way, out to pasture. Suzuki's out to pasture.
Suki's been out to pasture.
Naito probably has a couple more years into him, but eventually he's going to be out to pasture. All these guys are next 5 years or so are going to be I don't know, going into dad territory, leaving the company. I don't know what they're going to do with them, but it's just insane the breath of fresh air that is coming into New Japan. Like, this is, if you've been writing it off, this is now the time to join up.
Yeah, people might not like this, but like they are following the Stardom method.
Yeah,
what Stardom does better than anyone is they have a full roster worth of people able to plug into points, and they're all young, so it's not like they have an old roster at all. Like they're not in the same situation as New Japan where they have old people. Like they're very young, but you have your young. You have your young Starlight Kid, Azumi, Hana. Like you have the future established already. Then you have the current main event. You got the people that you can put into the main event at any time. And I think that's what New Japan's going for here, right? Is because I think they are seeing what their other company has done in terms of the future of their company. And they're like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just believe in these guys right off the bat. And I think New Japan's always been good at that, is believing in the young guys when they have them. They just didn't have them for a long while. That's also part of the problem.
Yeah. I cannot wait. We're here, baby. We're here. We got about 30 minutes left, and we got a lot.
We're getting through it all. We're getting through it all.
Think we'll get
Stardom will go through quick.
We can do some extra time. Slap it on the Patreon. We can do that. We haven't done that in a while.
That's true. I mean,
if we want to have more of the ability to talk about and give our thoughts and things, that's why. What I guess ruminate on that one. We'll consider moving forward.
Well, our Crown Jewel content is always top class, so I don't want the people to miss it.
Yeah, I got three more news bits. One I definitely want to dive into, and then we have Stardom and Crown Jewel.
We can, you know what? I hate saying this, but we can act Stardom. It's okay.
I would like to talk about Stardom though. I was getting ready. I was all into it.
All right, we'll put that. You can put that one on the Patreon. We'll do the Stardom only Patreon situation here. Because Ryan's getting into it. I'm hearing Ryan's thoughts about it. Obviously, I've heard mine multiple times. So, yeah, we'll get all this through.
Let's we'll figure it out. We'll talk about it afterwards. Maybe
we can't axe Logan Paul. We can't do it. I gotta talk about Logan Paul.
You heard it here, folks. He loves Stardom, but Scotty is gonna put Logan Paul.
I also have multiple podcasts where I've already talked about this damn Stardom pay-per-view.
That's true. Well, maybe.
And I've done 2 reviews.
We'll talk about it after the fact. But let's talk about, before we get to the WWE conversations, let's take a stroll through the indie wire, as it were. You want to talk about the streaming wars that are happening?
Oh, the streaming wars.
The streaming wars are finally upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Fight Plus is the subscription model coming out of Fight. I feel like it's already been around, obviously, but now, as of this week, GCW has formally joined Fight Plus. So for $4.99 a month or $49.99 a year, you can get all future GCW live events, including all of their back catalog, their archive footage, starting in November, starting with November 12th, their Nick Gage Invitational Show. And yeah, starting then. And then, as we saw throughout the rest of the week, a bunch of other indies joined. We had Wrestling Revolver, Black Label Pro, join GCW, and other indies like Maryland Championship Wrestling, NWA, NWA have their own fight streaming subscription gimmick. So not really, but they're there if you want NWA. MCW, BLP, AIW, GCW, a bunch of other people have been leaving IW. A lot of the big ones have been leaving IWTV. And then we saw tweets saying from a couple of people like Beyond, West Coast Pros, Prestige, they're all staying with IWTV. So the streaming wars are upon us when it comes to the independent wrestling scene. What are your thoughts on the? We'll start there. Fight Plus, having GCW and all these other indies now joining the Fight Plus for only $5 a month. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think it's brilliant for selfish wrestling fan reasons, because that is a great price, right? I mean, GCW was charging what, 20-30 dollars per show,
I think it was
and now
roughly $15 a show.
they're running what, 4-6 shows a month?
I did some napkin table math. You ready for this one?
Yeah,
They had roughly, not including the settlement series shows because that was an IWTV thing and all that stuff. They had roughly 8 shows a month, right? 1 to 2 shows a weekend. That's $15 a show. That is $120 every month if you are a GCW diehard and you're buying every single show. That does include obviously a bunch of other stuff. Let's say that Fight is getting a 30% cut. That's GCW is making $84. So from that one fan that is buying every single show, instead of $84, they're now getting $4.99, just GCW.
jeez.
Now
They must be making some sort of big money out of this deal.
yeah, that obviously does not include not every fan buying every show or buying it through a package weekend deal. Some shows had, some people might do the fight year plan. The fight money has to get split between every promotion. GCW will make money on the back end of the VOD, all that stuff. Doesn't include any of that stuff. But you're talking like GCW has to bring on like 16 to 23 extra fans to cover the money that one hardcore fan would have given you previously.
Yeah.
That is a loss. It looks like. So
Yeah, they have to be making money some other way to be like, yeah, we'll join. Yeah, there's no problem.
I've heard rumors about how they're making their money, and does not make any sense to me. I've heard talks, and I can't confirm any of this, but I've heard talks that like from multiple different people that that GCW, that Brett Lauderdale through Fight is using referral codes to bring in other promotions to Fight. I don't know what that even means. What money, what referral codes, what money. Also, you're not going to bring in every promotion under the sun, so eventually those referral codes run out. So I don't know what referral codes mean, but he must be getting a bag somewhere. I don't think it's referral codes.
No.
That doesn't make any sense to me personally, but there has to be a bag somewhere else for that Fight is giving them.
Anyway,
or at the very least, they think that a cheaper price point is going to bring in a lot more people.
It will. I think Fight TV Plus is brilliant. I really do. I think, this is where we've gone in not only wrestling but the world, is these streaming services, and it just makes everything so much easier. If they charge $10 a month, they probably would have had plenty of people.
Yeah.
$5 feels like a steal because of what they're bringing to the table, right? They're not only bringing new shows, they're bringing archives to the show. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go back into a lot of them and check them out, but like the big companies that you went through most of them, but like GCW, House of Glory, those are the ones that really catch my eye.
House of Glory is on there as well.
Yeah,
I think those are the ones. Warrior is on there.
Yeah, I think Warrior is on there, which is also big. Like these are the 3 companies that get the biggest names. And I will say, I thought IWTV was going to be done and buried.
Yeah, people were thinking West Coast Pro would have moved, that Beyond was going to move.
Once they kept West Coast Pro, I said, all right, it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
Yes, they did lose some companies, but West Coast Pro, I think, is the hottest indie going. So that the fact that they kept them is a big start.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch these go back and forth. I might Fight TV Plus is a thing I might have to sign up for. Because listen, if I don't have to wait around looking for links on certain things, I'm gonna happily take that.
For $5?
And $5 is nothing. $5 is like a candy bar. Come on. You get all these you get all this wrestling. There's a lot. Like if there's a month where there's a lot of big indie shows coming,
Yeah.
you sign up for $5. You can have yourself a time. It's great. It's great for the fans.
I wonder, and I don't know this for sure because it doesn't say on Wrestling Observer, but GCW is bringing its back catalog. Is Black Label Pro moving its back catalog off of IWTV onto Fight Plus? Is Wrestling Revolver, who hasn't had a streaming service, moving all their back catalog?
I forgot about Revolver. That's a great ad too.
Are they bringing all that stuff to? I see. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. GCW brought. Oh no, Black Label Pro's on here. Yeah, Black Label Pro has brought their back catalog. Wrestling Revolver has brought. Oh, these are. Oh no, wait, no, those are upcoming shows. My apologies. Why does it say upcoming though? They have all of the Nick Gage Invitational tournaments on here, but they listed as upcoming. So I don't know what that means. Let me see if I can scroll down to the older stuff. But I'll look into that. Yeah, Glory Pro is also on here. Older GCW shows. House of Glory is on here. MCW, the Maryland Championship Wrestling. They have other indies as well, other shindies and stuff like that. But it is unbelievable the deal that wrestling fans can get off of this. It is a no-brainer purchase. No-brainer purchase. It is be stupid to get it. And don't know, there has to be a bag somewhere for GCW and all these other indies, especially GCW.
This is the closest we have to a Wrestle Universe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But here's another thing I'm concerned about though, as well. You want to talk about this? The Collective, right?
Oh yeah, I have my doubts that that's going to be part of it.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be
a yearly show that costs like, if you get a bundle, $120 or something like that.
Yeah, you're gonna make that $5.
Is that now part of the Fight Plus?
If it is, then the game even changes more.
This is the game changing we've been waiting for from GCW. This is the game changing.
They finally found the game changer. I mean, all right, I'm gonna say it. The Collective sometimes, most of the time, a lot of it's kind of underwhelming.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
But that's exciting. I thought this year's actually pretty good. They had some shows with some good matches.
Yeah. Not every, and that's the common thing, especially as the longer you get into the Collective, the less and less energy wrestlers have.
Less and less I have.
Yeah,
as a
so
fan.
It happens. It totally happens after watching like hundreds of wrestling and wrestling matches over a weekend. But it's like these are the concerns that like people had when like the WWE Network started, right? When they're like, you can get WrestleMania now instead of $60 for $9.99. Is this a good business move? And it ultimately wasn't for WWE Network. So
it is now, though.
I guess
that down payment with Peacock.
I guess that's true. It worked out.
Don't worry about shit anymore. You're just like, all right.
Yeah,
this could sell 0 tickets. This could sell 1. I do not care.
But I don't see Amazon purchasing Fight Plus anytime soon. So
no, though Triller/Fight have been in a little trouble as of late. So this should be interesting.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily know how this is gonna work, but hey, we'll see. The Collective might be $5. All those shows are going to be worth now $5, so that's insane.
Oh dear God!
That's are they going to be able to afford a bigger wrestling people? I don't know. I maybe Tony Khan knew this was coming around the corner and didn't want Jon Moxley on these shows anymore wrestling. Ooh, maybe that's why he's not allowed to do GCW or Wrestling Revolver anymore, because they're going on a streaming service. Maybe he knew. I don't know, but yeah, I have concerns. I have concerns for this as an idea.
See, I don't think that way because never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna protect myself.
You got lost in the sauce.
No, I wasn't getting. I got lost in the JB Hater sauce early. I didn't get lost in the GCW sauce.
That's true. But
out of context, no one knows what that means. We were listening to her theme song, and it's great.
Yeah.
I need to explain myself before people attack me.
Yeah. I would love to see IWTV also bring on new promotions. They obviously have a lot of promotions already. It's unbelievable what they have. You know,
Yeah, they do.
New Texas Pro, Beyond Wrestling, West Coast
excited.
Pro, Prestige. West Coast Pro has been killing it. They have that King of the Indies coming around the corner that you and I are going to talk about for sure. When that's up and running.
Well, we're gonna try. That's a busy weekend.
It's full gear as well.
There's much more than just full gear, Buckaroo. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, that's gonna be true.
I'm gonna die.
We're no longer continuing the streak of Scotty well rested.
Oh, that's gonna be Scotty dead.
Scotty Deadwards, if you will.
I'm just gonna be here, and I'm gonna have this over my eye. One second.
Oh God, he's turning into a pirate. You don't know he's dead.
I'm just gonna be dead.
And obviously, also IWTV. I'm moving on. IWTV also has a lot of other deathmatch wrestling that Fight Plus doesn't really have. Wrestling Observer, kind of, not really, but they also have a lot of deathmatch wrestling as well, which apparently is a huge part of IWTV's platform as well. Since I've heard that ICW No Holds Barred, I think it was, is like one of their biggest promotions, which is kind of surprising to me. But hey, that's what it is. So yeah, the streaming wars are upon us. The independent streaming wars are behind us, or upon us. So get into it, I guess. Get into it. We'll see what they have down the pipeline from those companies. Let's talk about WWE. Real quickly, some news bits. NXT.
Jake Paul just said he wants championship success in WWE.
He'll have it. Jake Paul? Hold on.
Jake Paul just said that.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be tag team
coming.
wrestlers. They'll be tag wrestlers for sure.
It's coming.
NXT had a couple cuts earlier this week. 5 wrestlers were released.
Your reaction was great.
I was like, huh? Oh, what?
Jake Paul.
It was reported on Tuesday by PW Insider that Bodie Hayward, Sloane Jacobs, Erica Yan, Damaris Griffin, and Ru Fang have been released from the WWE contracts. All 5 wrestlers are part of the NXT brand. Thoughts on all of these wrestlers being cut?
I only knew one of them.
And that was
Bodie Hayward.
Bodie Hayward?
Who looks like Billy Gunn. Have you ever seen Bodie Hayward without the Chase U stuff?
Yeah.
He looks like Billy Gunn.
You got the headband and everything?
Yeah. I don't think they probably lost too much here. No offense to everyone.
No, I know, Bodie Hayward, I feel like is out of all of them the biggest prospect, maybe. Sloane Jacobs was the former Notorious Mimi, and she had started something on the indie scene a little bit before she got signed. Everyone else, I've never seen this Griffin guy. Yeah, I can see Bodie Hayward get, do you see any of these people getting any looks? I guess that's the question.
Listen. AEW brought in Cole Carter. Anyone can get a look.
Bodie
Not
Hayward.
only did they bring in Cole Carter, they put him on TV.
Not only did they bring him in the TV, they had him do a Stings kind of angle.
That's true.
Bodie Hayward, you got to bring him in just to do the, we're doing the Acclaimed and they're sons now. Have Bodie Hayward be Billy Gunn's longest.
Be the parent to the Gun Club. He's probably younger than both of them.
Be Bodie Gunn. Well, what's his shoot name? Hold on. I guess you could do Bodie. Do Brady Gunn. Or do that. What was it? What was the Von Erichs? Remember the Von Erich gimmick where they had the fake Von Erich? Just have that. Just have Bodie Hayward be a fake Gunn. Fake Gunn. Have him be the third Gunn brother. So then you could do
it'll be Bobby Gunn.
It'd be Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed versus Austin,
Colton and
Bodie Gunn or Brady Gunn or whatever.
Well, I need it now.
I would book it. I say book it. Why not? That's pretty fun.
Oh, that's a Rampage match right there. You're welcome.
That's a Rampage main event, baby.
Oh yeah,
it's a Rampage, baby. God, that's I would
instead of scissoring, they can fork each other.
Oh, ew. I don't know why that's gross. Episode 69, folks.
Nice. We're going. All right. What's the next news?
Wrestling news was the Q3 financial reports from WWE this week. Nothing big news items other than they made a shit ton of money. They generated $305 in revenue, up 19% year over year. Obviously, this is because of media rights deals. They also made $8 million off of Clash of the Castle.
That's crazy.
Other news bits were that the Special Investigation Committee into Vince McMahon has now been disbanded. And that and the quote here is, management is working with the board to implement the recommendations of the special committee related to the investigation. For the 3 and 9 month periods ended September 30th, 2022, the company's consolidated pre-tax results include the impact of $17.7 million and $19.4 million, respectively, associated with certain costs related to the investigation. Apparently, there are other costs of implementation of this stuff that they expect to come in the next quarter, but right now, not including the money that the company put in the company money that Vince McMahon used to do these NDAs and to do these write-offs and everything else. The company has now doled out another $17.7 million, $19.4 million on top of all this stuff. So it's a real expensive investigation.
I'm starting to think that Vince McMahon guy might not be a good guy.
You think? Pay-per-views are up thanks to Peacock, but it's Peacock, so Peacock.
What I say?
Yeah.
What I say?
It's hard to tell really because Peacock. It's kind of Peacock subscriptions are up, so everything's it's hard to see really. Yeah. But everything's up
they
there.
know.
They know.
They know.
They're not going to tell us the full numbers there.
I wouldn't.
and then an investigator calls. They up the Hulu deal. Re-up the Hulu deal. And not just re-up the Hulu deal, but they added a Montez Ford and Bianca Belair focused reality show. Not Roads to the Top, but maybe Ford down the road Ford. I don't know, Ford. I'm trying to think of some sort of pun with Ford. Maybe Belair. Maybe the Belair Mansion. Maybe that's something.
Total EST profits. Profit est.
The profit est. Maybe the Princess of Bel-Air. That's something. Maybe that's something.
Yeah,
but
I don't think I think they'll workshop it better than we will.
Yeah, that's coming to Hulu in 2023. Other than that, no real big other things.
You know what's insane
in the call? What's up?
Not insane, but you know how they made like that Corey Graves Carmella little web series show?
No, but
they were able.
Go ahead.
They did those kind of like a reality.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it was
also very sorry to hear about
Carmella.
Their tough happenings as of late. That sucks.
Yeah. But that was a YouTube video that I think they were trying to sell somewhere.
Yeah. And then they just sold Montez Ford and Bianca Belair like it was nothing. Two people that are never on screen or talking about each other ever.
That's
right.
True.
They just take pictures and post them on Instagram. And you're like, yes, that's the show we want.
I don't blame them. I think
they're very likable.
They're very likable, very fun energy. I think they would be willing to do a lot more crazy Hulu reality show gimmick stuff.
Bianca's a star too, so it's hard to deny.
Oh yeah, I think it's a good idea for WWE and Hulu to get on board with that. But that's the financials. Let's talk about speaking about financials. Let's talk about
sweet Saudi money, baby.
Let's talk about that Saudi money, that Saudi check,
blood money,
that Saudi PR check.
They made out of there in one piece. Remember those reports?
Yeah, I saw a tweet.
Might be an attack.
Yeah, God. So
they were like, "Yeah, let's go."
To help
sign me up.
So to help promote the country of Saudi Arabia, WWE put on another show in Crown Jewel in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. There was reports that there was a potential attack happening, but WWE wasn't too worried. They'll get out of there in one piece.
They did the Avengers thing. We have a Brock. Oh, great.
Cool.
Yeah, they have guns.
We got the Paul brothers. You really want to upset them? But they made it out. I saw Sean Ross Sapp tweet the plane left. Like, oh, thank God.
That's real news.
That's real news. That's the point we're at with these sort of shows. That is legit.
We've been at this point since the second one.
God. Anyways, now that we've
Seth Rollins wasn't on this show.
He wasn't on this show. That's right. That is.
I was like, why does this show kind of stink extra? I was like, oh, there's no Seth Rollins.
Has he been on previous? Not all the wrestlers do it. Has he been on the previous ones?
He had the best match I've ever seen on one of these against Edge in a Hell in a Cell last year.
That was at Crown Jewel, wasn't it? I did not remember.
That was the best. That was the best Sweet Saudi Money show.
Is that what you're calling it? Sweet Saudi Money.
I've heard people call it that, so I call it that for the rest of the time.
Yeah, now that we've officially recognized that this is a PR stunt to advertise the country of Saudi Arabia, let us talk about that. Well, I want to make it clear. There was a lot of talk about that as well online. I want to make it clear that we are covering this by also saying that this is a PR stunt from the country of Saudi Arabia. What's up?
They're like, I understand why people react to this every time, but like, have we not just gotten used to this by now? Like, this is what they do twice a year. Let's just get it through our heads. Let's move forward. Like, I don't feel like talking about it all the time.
I get that, but I also feel that it's important to say that, especially with the country that it is. Like,
well, isn't the World Cup in Qatar?
Yes, and that's another thing. A bunch of sports are going there. Golf, soccer, every other sport is going the Middle East.
Saudi Arabia bought like a golf league.
Yeah, and they're trying to get golfers. They're trying to get all the top golfers into it.
It doesn't even air.
The reason I think it's important to say is because I don't know, if let's say instead of Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, it was some other show name in North Korea every year, right? Would we just be like, North Korea, whatever? I feel like
I'm not saying that, but it's like, I get how bad it is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's important to say. Yeah. I understand that it's at this point, it is what it is. They have the deal for the next 6 years or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a deal you can get out of.
No, and they're not going to get out of it, as we just saw with their financial report. Anyways, opening Saudi Arabia opened, of course, with Crown Jewel legend Titus O'Neil doing a little video package narrating. Of course, how can we forget the Saudi Arabia show where the greatest Royal Rumble, where Titus O'Neil tripped and slid underneath the ring. Crown Jewel legend.
The man who is used for all PR situations because everyone's like, he's a nice guy.
Brought him out with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Probably going to bring him up with Vince McMahon at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Titus O'Neil inducting Vince McMahon in the Hall of Fame.
You hate it because it could be true.
But also the idea of Titus' whole push getting destroyed because he touched Vince McMahon that one time, and then using Titus as a PR guy for Vince would be so funny. Anyways, Crown Jewel.
It would be on brand.
It would be on brand. Opening up the show with Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Meaty men slapping meat, right? Am I right?
Yeah, Bobby Lashley kicked his ass, and then he lost.
What is this, Vegeta? Kicked his ass?
No shit. I actually liked the action of the match, and then it just ended, and I was like, all right.
Yeah,
whatever.
Really made Lashley look great. And then you go in the Hurt Lock in. Brock Lesnar just reverses the Hurt Lock, pins him.
Yeah, he did what everyone else does.
And then, yeah, exactly. And no one wants to break it, but everyone can pin Bobby Lashley like an idiot. And then that was the end of the match. Is that our coverage of the match? It was good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. Good action. They beat the piss out of each other. They did what I hoped. They just didn't go the extra mile making it great. Completely great.
I agree. I think this is just
Bobby looked great.
I think this is probably just the first match in a series of matches to get us to WrestleMania.
Yeah, this is what they do for Brock. They just give him the same person for 7 shows because it makes money and it works. And people have to. I know people get mad at it, but it works.
Yeah, we'll see Bobby Lashley beat Brock at Royal Rumble, and then at WrestleMania we'll see steel cage match probably.
I don't know, something crazy.
Maybe that'd be my guess.
Cell.
Steel Hell in a Cell. Ooh, Hell in a no, maybe.
I know they killed the pay-per-view, so that could be.
That's true.
Never a steel cage. I never want a steel cage.
Yeah, that's for sure. But that's what we do here. So it's gonna be steel cage, last man standing, maybe. Oh, I quit. No, it's gonna be an I quit match. That makes sense.
Oh Jesus,
that makes sense. And then we can somehow redo and do the bulldozer,
the ring thing.
Yeah, the ring thing again somehow in the middle of a show.
Yeah, because it won't be the main event, so they'll just ruin the ring.
Unless they do.
All right, go out and do that.
Well, unless they do night 1, night 2 again, and that's like the main event of night 1.
They are doing night 1, night 2.
Unless it's the main event of night 1, they do that again. I don't know.
Anyway,
Byron Saxton was backstage and talking to Asuka and Alexa Bliss, and then Bray Wyatt's new logo appeared on the screen. Distracted Alexa Bliss, but she continued anyways.
I don't need to review each and every segment.
It's Bray Wyatt. He's the biggest star in the company right now. We got to talk about Bray.
Biggest stars in the company were in the main event. I promise you that.
Next up, Damage Control versus Alexa Bliss and Asuka for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. And it was, in fact, Damage Control winning back their titles in a distraction caused by Nikki Cross.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. Seeing that, I think Alexa Bliss has been pretty bad for like the past.
She's been bad for. Give
me a second. I'm counting.
My apologies. I don't think she's been in the company for that long though.
24 months.
Oh, okay. You were counting months. I see. Yeah. Yeah. No, she hasn't been. She hasn't been good. Back in the Goddess days, she was good, and I kind of enjoyed the tag team of her and Cross. But
I didn't.
Yeah, but, it had its moments, but then
once she went Fiend,
it was over. And I don't think she's recovered.
This was the closest she's been to Goddess Alexa Bliss. I'm not saying she was great or anything.
No, I don't think she's ever been great.
She was so bad for so long.
Yeah.
That like this was a breath of fresh air. I thought Dakota and Io looked pretty good together. Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, nice little match here.
It was nice to have a good women's match in Saudi because I feel like anytime I'm watching these shows, I feel so uncomfortable for them.
It should also be brought up in this moment with the women's tag titles that during the intro, the network graphic, that Sasha Banks showed up on the graphic.
Oh yeah,
and I believe it was during this match, Banks and Naomi were brought up by commentary.
Are we gonna bring up how Bullet Club was brought up too and freak out about that like everyone wanted to do? I literally tweeted, "Oh look, they said Bullet Club. Congrats everyone!" And then I proceeded to learn that people actually did freak out about that. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
It's a new era. It's a new era, Scotty.
Oh yeah, I saw WrestleVotes tweet that one out.
It's a new era. It's a new era.
We can say 2 words.
You can say Bullet Club. We can talk about people that worked in this company previously.
I just like the idea that they acknowledge things that actually happened, but like, I'm not gonna freak out that they said Bullet Club.
No,
Bullet Club is like one of the coldest factions in the world.
And also, they didn't get the Bullet Club information right.
No, it's not like they said now it's led by Jay White.
No, they said it was led by Finn Balor.
Then it was led by AJ Styles. Allegedly
led by AJ Styles. For some reason, Michael Cole said allegedly led, and I was like, "What? Excuse me?"
That's funny. But the women's tag was fine, decent, good stuff. Whatever. Yeah. One of the better matches on the show for me.
And I tweeted this out as well with the Bank stuff. I don't give a shit anymore.
I gave up.
Yeah, if Banks wants to return to this company that she has tried to leave 3 or 4 times now, go for it.
Go back.
Did you also see that thing that or fucking what's his face? The English journalist guy. What's his name? Davenport, Dagpour, Louis Dagpour, whatever his name is.
Oh, Dangor, yeah.
Dangor. He tweeted out a thing where he's doing interviews of WrestleVotes now.
Yeah, that's the big thing that they do.
Where
the Cora and Jade thing.
Yeah, they're apparently Triple H sees Cora Jade as the next Sasha Banks.
I said, my instant thought was, WrestleVotes got Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez confused. That's crazy. That's insane. I guess he didn't pay attention enough to that feud. If he said Roxanne Perez, I would be like, yeah, no, I see it. Roxanne Perez is great. Cora Jade?
What?
Are you kidding? Cora Jade's like kind of bad.
She's
not Sasha Banks.
She's not Sasha Banks. I don't know what we're talking about.
Like anyone, they're gonna be the next whatever is like egregious in itself.
Who is it? Remember, Otis is the next Dusty. For that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like, if you told me that they thought that Roxanne Perez was gonna be like the next main event star for them, I'd be like, yeah, absolutely.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see reality.
Cora Jade is the next Sasha Banks,
as the next one of the best wrestlers in company history.
I call Sasha Banks the greatest U.S. women's wrestler of all time. I promise you, Cora Jade's not touching that.
Yeah.
She's only 21, so like I'm being ridiculously mean. She can still develop as a wrestler, but come on.
But also, no. But I'll say this: to be fair, I don't want to compare Sasha Banks today to Cora Jade. Let's look back at Sasha Banks in NXT. Still a phenomenal wrestler. Even when she's just starting in NXT, she's pretty good. That's why I bring
up Roxanne over Cora Jade.
Yeah. Just starting in NXT, she's pretty good. She knows what she's doing. She's got her
thing
stuff
they're
gonna
say is they want Tiffany Stratton to be the next Charlotte Flair. I'll be like, well, she doesn't have the Flair name to her, so that's tough.
They want her to be the next like Trish. I'm pretty sure.
I think Tiffany Stratton's actually good.
Hold on, was that on the show last week?
I don't know. I wasn't on the show. I wish it was. That was comedy.
Last week you asked me to be like, yeah, I realized why Tiffany Stratton was out. And I was like, what do you mean? Whoa.
Good for her.
Oh, man.
Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross. I'll take it from here. In a steel cage match. This match was better than the Strat match. However, not much better. Strat match sucked.
The Strat match ended with Drew McIntyre getting pepper sprayed. This match, the same thing happened.
Pepper spray.
What's that?
Had pepper spray.
Yeah, this match had pepper spray used on McIntyre and the ref. The ref took a bump. More bumps than the Evil match. And then Karrion tried to win, didn't win, and then Scarlett locked the cage door, and then McIntyre was like, all right, and just walked out the top and won.
Someone made a great point to me that Karrion Kross has been wrestling for like a decade. He's been wrestling all year, right? Like, even though he wasn't in WWE, he's been active all year. He was in New Japan, MLW, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's Suzuki match?
Yeah, and Logan Paul in 3 matches looks like a more confident and actually technical sound professional wrestler than Karrion Kross. And I thought that was hilarious because it's absolutely true. Like, Karrion Kross doesn't move correctly as a wrestler, let alone like wrestles.
It feels
this dude stinks.
It feels like his body's too big.
Yeah, it feels like he did the Andrade thing where Andrade got like really huge. Remember, like when he first went to AEW and like he was a little inconsistent, but he figured it out.
Yeah,
I don't think Karrion Kross is ever gonna figure this out.
Judgment Day versus the OC. It was in fact AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. He did not make the show in Osaka, I believe it was. What do you think of this 6-man tag?
I hate the Judgment Day. I hate everything about them. Yeah. Dominic Mysterio. And I tweeted this as a joke, but a joke that I actually think true. If I was to do a top 500 list, he wouldn't sniff it because he fucking sucks. He's the worst televised wrestler there is. He's so bad.
You're telling me Carl Anderson's not making Dominic look good?
Carl Anderson did his best. I'll give him credit for that. The only part of Judgment Day that works is Rhea Ripley, and she doesn't wrestle.
I agree. I 100% agree. She's the most over person in that act.
So I've realized,
and she's not wrestling. She needs to be going for the women's title at WrestleMania. We have to do that.
Yes. So I realized after the women's title match and Bianca Belair beating Bayley, that it has to be Rhea Ripley.
Yes, she's the only other over woman on the roster currently.
Yeah, like she's doing great work. I will give her that credit. In a faction that sucks ass, she's doing great. She's going to get a win over Beth Phoenix probably.
Well, I was about to say, this also really setting up the idea of Edge and Beth Phoenix versus, I don't know, Balor and...
It'll be so funny if it's Dominic.
And well, I guess it could be... I guess you could do Edge and Ray and Beth versus Dominic, Balor,
No. I was gonna bring this up later because I was gonna probably talk about Walter and Ray. Keep Ray as far away from his untalented, spoiled, fucking talentless son, and just let him cook on SmackDown.
Yeah, I guess
because he's still great.
I forgot they did that. Yeah, but the thing is about the Edge Beth Phoenix thing. What show are we doing that on? Royal Rumble or WrestleMania? Survivor Series. Maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
I see a WrestleMania match. I could see.
I don't think it's WrestleMania. I don't think they can hold off long enough because she dressed up as Beth yesterday.
Well, then you do it at Survivor Series or you do it at Royal Rumble, and then you do like a steel cage match at WrestleMania.
I think Rhea's. It depends. I don't think Rhea needs to win the Royal Rumble to face Bianca. No. But I'd rather her win the Royal Rumble than Becky, because I think Becky's facing Ronda. So
yeah, that would make sense.
Like have the new star win.
Yeah, no,
one time in your lives.
Did she already win the Royal Rumble though?
Becky did already win.
No, I mean Rhea.
No, Rhea came in second. She lost to Bianca.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
So it's perfect. It's perfect.
That'd be nice.
It's a good match to go with.
That's a good story too. You know.
Look at us. Look at us booking WWE.
Braun Strowman versus Omos.
This was actually hilarious.
How so?
Braun Strowman got it. I did not notice how much bigger Omos was than Braun Strowman. I was like, holy shit. Match was whatever. I think it's funny that Braun Strowman just picked him up and won.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of just did one power slam, and that was it? That was pretty much it?
Yeah.
Running power slam. Yeah. Yeah, fine.
Anyways.
Usos versus the Brawling Brutes to retain the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles. It was the Usos that won here. What'd you think of this one?
The women's tag and the main event were my top 3 matches on the show. And that's not saying this was great or anything, but I thought it was good action. I think Pete Dunne's good. I think Ridge is good.
Yeah.
The Usos are fine. I learned that Jay White, not Jay White, Jesus Christ. Wish it was Jay White. Jay Uso has a broken wrist or whatever. So I'm impressed that he's wrestling with that.
Not a cast or anything on it either.
No, he literally just had it taped up.
Wow. What a trooper.
He doesn't know if it's a broken wrist yet. He's getting it checked this week.
And isn't he wrestling on Friday?
Yes.
He's losing the titles, aren't they? They're losing the titles.
He'll probably be fine. Wrist is like whatever. Maybe it's just sprained.
That's true. You can wrestle with
fine.
a wrist.
It's not like it stopped him from wrestling.
That's true. That's for sure. That's for sure true. But yeah, I thought this match also, like you said, I thought this match was
every Usos tag match.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I think the Usos didn't necessarily have like their Uso-ness about them here.
They weren't Usy.
They weren't Usy. They definitely weren't Usy. But the Brawling Brutes, I thought that was nice. You know, if that's true, I don't. Maybe that explains why their Usiness wasn't there. But alas,
they haven't had the Usiness for a while. But okay,
no. But maybe they'll have it on Friday. They're against the New Day. We'll see. Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a last woman standing match to retain the Raw Women's Champion. Now, at the final beat of this match, where Bianca Belair puts Bayley in a ladder, closes the ladder, and then puts the ladder underneath on the turnbuckle there. My fiance Jesse said, "Why is the ref counting to 10? What kind of match is this?" My response to her is like, "Oh, this is a last woman standing match. Back in the day, the match used to be like, you beat your opponent down to that they can't withstand stand up at a 10 count. Nowadays, it's just what sort of convoluted contraption can I get my opponent stuck in to not reach the 10 count.
Yeah,
today's contraption of choice was a ladder. So fun stuff.
I miss the days of beating the crap. That's when
Beating the
last man
piss out of
standing
each
was
other.
good.
I feel like the last.
Now it's like
I feel like the last great last woman standing or last person standing match was like Becky Charlotte at the Evolution.
Great. I don't. Yeah, you know why? Because they just beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah, yeah, they did.
That's probably that's one of the greatest main roster women's matches ever.
I can agree.
I'd probably have that, and then Bianca and Becky from this year at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the top 2 off the top of my head. No, Sasha and Bianca too. That was great. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, they just did these matches to protect both of them.
Yeah, which is stupid. I hate why. Why are we
like? They would have such a good singles match, just a plain singles match, and they make them do this. Like, I'm so sick of stipulation matches as is.
And you know what's frustrating about it, Scotty?
Is that they have to go around the arena every time?
No. Well,
they count 100 times,
they fucking did the Sammy Guevara spot way slower. Didn't even do it. No, it's that you have an established character in Bayley who is well known to have just come back from a knee injury. So if Bianca just beat up Bayley's knee the entire time or focused on that, then Bayley can't stand up with her knee to reach the 10 count. That's all you had to do. Why are we doing contraptions? Why are we sticking people under a ladder and trapping them? Why do we have to do that? Say that you still protect her by you just beat down my knee. When I get healed up, I'm going to take you down. Then she can re-debut at the Rumble a couple months from now. But, we need to do this to protect them so that we have a match at War Games. That's all it is.
I liked this better than the... Was it a ladder? Was it a ladder match?
Yeah. Which I hated. I hated that ladder match.
I thought that was clunky and stuff.
Yeah, same.
Right? I thought that was very clunky. I think this at least was smoother. If that makes sense. I mean, obviously they have to do all these things where 1, 2, you got to do all the counts and stuff. But what I did like was that they just felt more on the same page. I really do think they would benefit so much from just having a real human being singles match. But whatever. Screw me. Screw my fun. Screw my interest.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
it's going to be Rhea Ripley's title. So.
Then Bray Wyatt came out. He said that
Fuck this.
He said he used to. This is from the Wrestling Observer. He said that he used to do something to make people know who he is. He comes from a very prestigious wrestling family. Some might say they are larger than life. All he ever wanted to be growing up was great, but he had to be the greatest amongst all of them. He said he thought what he needed. He said he thought what he needed to do. He made a monster of himself. He wrote that he wore that mask of pride. He no longer felt pain wearing the mask. Am I reading a poem? He could no longer be afraid. He felt untouchable, and that felt good. He found himself in a kingdom of nothingness, not Saudi Arabia, of nothingness, sitting on an island by himself. The monster destroyed him and ran off. The monster destroyed him. Are we talking Braun Strowman? And ran off. all that he ever loved. Wyatt said no one loves him. They just love the idea of him. This doesn't have to be the end of the story.
That popped me.
Doesn't have to be the end of the story. His name is Bray Wyatt, and he will rewrite the ending to his story. However, Uncle Howdy appeared on the screen. Uncle Boy Howdy appeared on the screen and asked why he wears the mask. You can fool them, but you can't fool me. That should have been my Halloween costume. An Uncle Howdy mask with a cowboy hat. Uncle Boy Howdy. Keep that in mind for next year. Uncle Howdy appeared on the screen and asked why he wears the mask. Even though he just said he didn't. You can fool them, but you can't fool me. No one knows you better than I do. They don't deserve you. The truth is you're going to go too far and give in. Remember just how good it feels? Do it. Hurt them. Don't take the mask off. Tell him he's wrong.
So I got a question for the audience, for Ryan, for whoever the fuck cares. Does anyone just the mask that Uncle Howdy had in front of his face before Like he started talking like
the Ethan Hawke one.
Yeah.
And then now he's like a weird version of not what's his face. That old wrestler. Who's his grandfather?
Yeah.
Wyndham? Barry Windham?
Yeah, Wyndham.
Now he's just like a weird version of Barry Windham.
So does everyone forget that mask is the one that Bray Wyatt showed up with when he came back?
Mm-hmm.
On his face.
Mm-hmm.
We're just acting like that didn't happen. This is gone for me. Done. I'm done. I knew this was gonna happen. It was fun to be excited for 2 frickin' seconds. But now it's
great reveal entrance, right? Great
reveal entrance, great moment.
Mm-hmm. We tell moments here. We do our moments.
Yeah, we like moments.
We're telling stories.
But it's just the same thing every week. Why do I give a shit about Uncle Howdy? Like, listen to what I just said. I can't care about Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy? And when it just reveals that it's Bo Dallas, how's everyone gonna feel? And Liv Morgan was teased. I saw the like thing that someone screenshotted of the girl with like the jigsaw cheeks. I was like, oh, that's Liv Morgan. Thank you.
Well,
appreciate you getting that.
Well, apparently that is a screenshot of this. That is a edited photo of a photo that was a part of a former Bray Wyatt thing.
Well, then screw them. Yeah. I thought it was actually real. But it's going to be Liv Morgan either way.
But they're teasing the idea. Well, they also tease the idea of Alexa Bliss being part of this.
Yeah, don't do that. Alexa's finally starting to remember that she, might have been a wrestler. Stop. I'm done with this. I'm done.
I was never on board with it.
You were on board with the first thing.
The entrance?
In terms of like the fun of that.
The entrance.
And then we said it's all about the follow-up. And the follow-up, not so surprisingly, has been shit. When I say I'm off, I'm only saying I'm off of this now is because we haven't talked about it since for a reason.
To be clear,
you just gave me my chance to say it sucks.
To be clear, when you say the first thing, you mean his entrance at
the cool thing that happened.
Yeah, not the QR code and all that bullshit.
No, the QR code and all the bullshit was bad. Also, we haven't heard about a white rabbit since. So,
well, we did hear at the Q3 financial report how much they really praised the white rabbit gimmick. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Q4 they do some other multimedia tease of an entrance return. So maybe it's Sasha. Maybe it's Sasha.
It better be for Logan Paul.
Better be for Cody. Here we go. Speaking of Logan Paul. Oh yeah, I Uncle Howdy. The moment they named him Uncle Howdy. That's what was funny to me. Like Uncle Howdy is the big scary bad movie monster.
Uncle Boy Howdy.
Uncle Boy Howdy. Roman Reigns against Logan Paul was, of course, your main event, undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. This match,
world we live in.
Best match on the show. It did have, of course, it's Roman Reigns-esque stuff with talking, and then it had, your classic WWE trope-isms right now of constant run-ins during the middle of the match. But ultimately, Logan Paul, again, we talk about how much we don't really like the Paul brothers or this other stuff, but
I don't give a shit. They're good professional wrestlers.
But Uncle Boy Howdy, Logan Paul, if he is not one of the best wrestlers in WWE, it is unbelievable.
I thought I've been waiting to talk about this since the show freaking ended.
This is a closer.
I thought this was one of the best WWE matches of the year. Sue me. I don't care. You know why? I don't care about the run-ins. I don't care. Like, this is what I signed up for watching a Logan Paul match in 2022. It's Logan Paul. I barely know who this guy is still. I know he's a YouTuber. Kids love him. He's kind of like, people kind of hate him. Mostly hate him. I don't know if it's kind of. People hate him, but he's got 30 million followers. Listen, I'm going into this with the idea this is going to be insanity, right?
Yep.
But if you're able to deliver me entertainment, I'm going to love the shit out of it. And guess what? I loved the shit out of it. This guy is so good. and people hate that. And that's why they have a money heel if they want him to be.
I hate that he is this good. I'm like,
absolutely.
God damn it, why is he this good?
I'm going to say it now. He is the best celebrity wrestler ever.
That's probably true. That's probably
Listen,
true.
Pat McAfee was great.
No, he's way better than
Paul.
He's way better than
is
Pat
so
McAfee.
much better than Pat McAfee.
There was D'Angelo Williams was really good.
D'Angelo Williams was good. But Logan
really
Paul's a bigger celebrity, thus making him more important, thus making him a bigger deal. Thus, this guy did 2 picture-perfect frog splashes. One of them doing a selfie camera. By the way, the video is sick. I don't know if you saw that.
I showed the video to Jessie, and she was upset by how well shot it was. Like, God dang it, just another thing. Like, it's like well shot, he turns it, and then he ends it back on himself. Like, God damn it, he just did that perfectly.
Yeah, like, I'm all in on this guy. If they crowned him as champion, I would have probably stood up and clapped. Been like, you motherfudges. You did it. You did it. You went the extra yard. You went all in on the insanity. This dude is fantastic. You're right. He is one of the best wrestlers in WWE. Already.
Yeah.
He's maybe the most exciting in terms of when he gets matches now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because this guy's probably going to wrestle like Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and it's going to be freaking fantastic. I know he said he had a torn ACL and MCL meniscus. I don't fully believe that. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy could not have done all that if he heard it halfway through. I'm sorry.
That's true. I mean, I guess it depends on the tear. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything.
It depends on the tear, but if you tore all 3 of them...
Yeah. I don't understand.
Like, yes, partial tear, you can do a lot of things, but you partially tore all 3 and were fine and didn't show any signs of it? Yes, he did the buckshot lariat better than CM Punk. Yes, I'm stunned. The 27-year-old was better than the 44-year-old. Ha 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 ha. But he didn't do better than Hangman Page, so shut up. That was when he did that though, I was like, because he like launched. He's a big dude. Yeah. I didn't realize that. He's like a tall dude. I thought Roman. Someone started fighting me with me on Twitter. He's like, it was stupid because Roman sold for him. I was like, what?
No, I disagree. So, and here's why. I think it's stupid when young wrestlers sell for old wrestlers like Muto and Fujita and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Logan Paul is a young, athletic, fit guy.
Maverick, as he likes to call himself.
He is a top gun of himself. He is a fit guy. It should make sense for Roman to sell for him. Yeah, Roman's a bigger dude and all that stuff, but it's like he's built like a Seth Rollins type. If Roman's selling for Seth Rollins, he should be selling for a guy that's like, in fact, younger, I believe, than Seth Rollins. Like, what are we? What are we doing?
Logan Paul's one of their youngest stars now.
Yeah.
They need to hope and pray this guy never leaves.
This brother's
coming right behind him.
This guy's gonna leave, and the Paul brothers are gonna start their own wrestling promotion. That's the third. Jesus. That's the third brand. You get Logan and Jake Paul, all APW.
They're gonna rebrand NXT to Logan Paul and Jake Paul Enterprises.
He's wearing the colors. He's wearing the black and gold.
I know. I thought this was great. I really did. This was the match I was most excited for this weekend. Not named Ospreay Naito because I'm a normal person. But like, it was excellent.
Yeah,
it was. I loved every second of it. I love the insaneness of them having Jake Paul get his whole entrance and walk down there and knock out the Usos, and then like they're like, "Oh, Solo Sikoa's coming," as if I give a shit. Like, what is he gonna do? He didn't do anything. He walked down there. I think everyone did their job. Roman did his job. Logan Paul did his. Logan Paul is gonna be world champion. It's gonna happen.
I want just because it also sounds like the perfect Cody thing to do.
Logan Paul and Cody.
I want Logan Paul and Cody to be number 1 and number 2 for the Royal Rumble, and then Cody goes on and wins the Royal Rumble or whatever. Because that also sounds like a Cody thing to do.
Yeah.
That I want that. I want number 1, number 2, Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes. Fuck it, let's do it. I
miss Cody so much, and people make fun of me all the time for it. I love Cody Rhodes because of how insane that man is. And I was thinking about it when I was watching AEW. I was like, man, I remember the days where Cody Rhodes was the only thing people hated about AEW. You guys miss him. Don't lie. No one admits it yet, but they will. They will, Ryan. They will.
They will.
Let's end the show.
Let's end the show. That is it for everybody. That is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. We want to thank everybody for listening, whether it was the live stream, whether it's just the audio version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, all that stuff. If you're the first time listening to our shows, consider subscribing to the podcast wherever you listen to it. We would greatly appreciate it. We have a lot of fun stuff. You can also follow us on Twitter at Ryan Knightsey, at Scott E Wrestling on Twitter, the whole show at CountOutPod. That's the network. We have a bunch of other shows in the network. Go check them out. I kind of talked about it throughout the show. Go check out those other shows as well. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/CountOutPod, where every other week, Scotty and I have another episode of a show that we like to do called Ryan Hasn't Seen Anything, which is a shoot fact of matches I have never seen, and Scotty and I watch them live for the first time. There's maybe thoughts about a season 2, and maybe thoughts of asking y'all for advice on what matches we need to see. Maybe not advice, but what matches we need to see that I haven't seen. Some of your greatest matches, maybe. So maybe we'll be asking shortly for that, but we'll see. Nonetheless, though, we have a lot of fun stuff on the Patreon, so go check that out. Scotty, anything to plug?
Yeah, sure. I'm never ready with my plugs, which is embarrassing. You can listen to Stardom Road right here on the Count Out Network. That's it.
Count Out Network.
I was like, wait a minute, is there a last part of that? No, the network was the last part. You can listen to that. We had a new episode release this past Tuesday about the first ever Stardom show. And then you'll definitely want to hear the next one. Me and Trent have already recorded it. It's going to be exciting times. We're hyping up a certain match for Historic Crossover and going through the history of those two.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can connect the dots on that one. So definitely check that out. Keep an eye out. Make sure you subscribe. I got some interviews coming out the next couple weeks, so that's exciting, but I'm not going to tell you who they are or when they're coming out because I don't know. And match of the week. Which Saya Kamitani versus Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa became an overnight sensation with a match and a promo.
Can I do a tiny little victory lap on that? Last year, the Grand Prix, I was saying Mina Shirakawa, pretty good.
Yeah.
People made fun of me. People said I was wrong. People said I was out of my mind. To be fair,
she did have a good Grand Prix. It was everything that came after that was bad.
Yeah. But I saw something in Mina Shirakawa.
You just want the credit because you.
I want the credit because I saw the potential in Mina Shirakawa there, and I was like, no, she can go. She can go. Trust me, she can go. She went, and boy howdy, I'm just saying.
Ryan didn't get to talk about the match. I kind of feel bad. He didn't get to talk about any of it.
No, that's fine.
Oh yeah, you made a big fuss about it on the show, and then you're like, yeah, fine.
That's fine. I'm starving. That's why. My plug is TeePublic. TeePublic.com. You can also go to countoutpod.com/store. I think will get you there. TeePublic. Get some Ring Post Radio merch. I'm wearing a Ring Post Radio shirt right now. Boom. We also got a bunch of other stuff. We got tapestries. We got stickers. We got magnets. We got other stuff. Go check that out. TeePublic also has they have sales all the time, almost monthly sales. So definitely go check out that. I highly recommend that there. But yeah, go check out TeePublic. Go check it out. You got a bunch of merch there, a bunch of other shows we have there as well. So go to TeePublic. And by the way, we need to put a Stardom Road shirt on the TeePublic. We need to start doing that.
Also, by the way, everyone, this is my new thing. I'm doing on all my shows, so I'm going to do it for this one. Next week, here's what you can look forward to. We'll have previews for Stardom Gold Rush.
What is this? NWA?
AEW Full Gear.
Uh-huh.
Historic Crossover. All right, that's all I can remember. But that's all that matters.
Impact Overdrive.
All right.
This one I'm definitely talking about. We'll be pretty quick, but we're definitely talking about this. King of the Indies for West Coast Pro. Oh, we're talking
a lot
about
of wrestling. Wait a minute, no, King of the Indies is the week after, I think.
No, I'm pretty sure that the 19th.
Is it the 9th? Oh dear God!
I think it's the 19th. Let me double check this.
I think you're right.
Let me my match of the week.
King of the Indies.
I'm gonna cheat with my match of the week while I look this up and say my match of the week is from Noah, Satoshi Kojima, and Takeshi Sugiura versus Kano and Nakajima. Yeah, that was Sunday. We talked about the main event, but we didn't talk about that.
Oh, by the way, I didn't get to talk about that match because I didn't see it. That sucked, by the way. Shota Umino is the guy. Kaito Kiyomiya is the nerd. All right, move on.
Yeah, King of the Indies for West Coast Pro is next week as well, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the first round matches already announced.
I just know Titus Alexander versus Dragon Lee is happening.
What's that? What's that? You wish it wasn't?
No, I'm happy it is. That's the best match on the show.
I agree. That match should be very good. And they have other wrestlers announced that they have not given them matches for. I think.
I have a lot to do next week. Thankfully, it's all previews, so it won't be long.
Yeah, so a lot of previews, so we'll
this was
talk
long
about
enough.
that all next week. We'll see you all next week. Subscribe to the show. We'll see you all then.